Hey, podcast listeners. Dana here. Can I let you guys in on a little secret? Just between us. We like all of you much, much more than the folks that listen live. But no matter how, when, or where you check out the Hams podcast, we got to give thanks to our friends at Standard Heating for making it all possible. It's been a pretty tame winter so far, but we know well enough that we're not out of the woods yet. So hit up standardheating.com to get them out to your house to make sure your furnace is tuned up to do all of the furnace-y types of things it's supposed to do. I'm still learning the lingo. Make that appointment today. Become a Smart Club member like me. That's standardheating.com. Enjoy the show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
Unbelievable. Really it is that we've upped and made her all the way to Thursday already. Welcome to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. You're looking fine today, Josh.
Oh, I appreciate that. I changed my clothes for the first time this week. Maybe that's why.
I saw you busted the shorts out.
Yeah, I realized a couple of years ago, Dana, I have the exact same wardrobe as Adam Sandler.
The basketball shorts?
Oversized sweatshirts and oversized basketball shorts. And so, yeah, I thought I almost did yesterday, and I said, screw it, I'm coming in today in shorts.
That takes balls because this building is an icebox and you know it.
It was hot yesterday. Yesterday was a little warm.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to get in here.
Yeah, Ashley was joking that they finally turned the heat on, when it started to get warm out.
A little late.
Never fun to begin the program with bad news, but, look at it as more of a tribute. Gene Hackman is gone. Dead at the age of 95.
And he had just turned 95.
Yeah. You just mentioned his birthday.
Yeah, last month.
Legendary actor Gene Hackman is gone at the age of 95, and a somewhat mysterious ending. He and his wife were found dead together in their home. As far as we know, it wasn't a murder-suicide type of a thing, but they were found dead together, his wife.
And their dog.
Which
kind of, adds to a theory.
Weird.
And the theory is some type of carbon monoxide type of a thing.
So he lives in New Mexico, and I looked up their weather from yesterday. He was found yesterday afternoon, so I guess I don't know when he died. I should say there was a welfare check, so it could have been before that. And it was in the upper 20s to lower 30s, so, your furnace would be on.
Right.
And they've said no foul play. I don't know if suicide is considered foul play, but my thought, just like yours, Nick, was this must be carbon monoxide.
That's...
But again, nothing has been confirmed.
Right, that's the theory, but nothing, like Josh said, nothing has been confirmed on the death of Gene Hackman and his wife. 30 years his junior, I believe. So she was no kid, obviously, at 65 years old, but that is an unfair ending for anybody, if that in case is the truth. I knew a family that went through that, and it was just absolutely devastating.
Oh, I can't imagine. We nearly did. Luckily, it was caught in time that they said, hey, this thing's bad. It's leaking this out. And if it was like a week longer, things could have been a lot different for us.
Ever since, my first exposure to carbon monoxide poisoning was when a friend of mine's had some family members pass away. I believe one individual died, the other damn near died. So, sorry if I made it sound like 5 or 6 people went at once, but honestly, I haven't thought about this in years, so I was trying to gather it in my head. So, one of his family members died, and one came damn close. I had never heard of that kind of a thing. This is maybe when I was in my mid-20s. And I don't know about you, but anytime I took a nap during the day for about 3-4 months after that, I was nervous about it because that's how they went. One afternoon, they decided, well, let's get a nap in, and then one of them never woke up. Who knows if that's really what happened with Gene Hackman? I hope it's nothing shady. But, I mean, wow, what a talent. 5 decades as an actor. 2-time Oscar-winning talent is what they call him here. He was terrific.
Oh, he's in some of my favorite movies.
Like?
Well, I loved Hoosiers. Obviously, Unforgiven. Incredible in that. Young Frankenstein.
Boy, we see an incredible prick in Unforgiven as Little Bill.
Superman, he played such a great Lex Luthor. I loved Crimson Tide, Behind Enemy Lines. I enjoyed those movies quite a
Behind
bit.
Enemy Lines, man. That's a really fun one to watch, too.
That's a very good movie. Yep.
I think, was it The French Connection where he won one of his Oscars? Unforgiven was one.
Yes.
I never saw
You're correct on both.
I've never saw The French Connection or Mississippi Burning. I know people say great things about both.
Right. No, I'm not. I couldn't sit here and tell you I've watched, all or nearly all of what Gene Hackman put together in 50-some years in the business. Right. Mississippi Burning. What was the other one you mentioned? Hunt for Red October? What'd you say?
Behind Enemy Lines.
No.
Crimson Tide?
Crimson Tide.
He was great in that.
Didn't bother with those, but absolutely, I remember Lex Luthor. I was a little kid when I went to go see Christopher Reeve play Superman and Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor. How do you say his name?
Lex Luthor.
Was a lot of fun. Sure, he played the blind hermit in Young Frankenstein in 1974, who accidentally sets the monster's thumb on fire.
Well, he was just trying to light a cigar.
Yeah. I believe that role was uncredited for Hackman at the time. Hoosiers, I was never crazy about that one. But
are you serious? I think that's one of the greatest sports movies of all time.
I mean, I love the ending. Don't get me wrong.
That was so good.
I love the ending, but I thought it was so boring leading up to it. Anyway.
I also saw I never saw The Quick and the Dead.
No, I never tried that one either.
I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen a single movie you guys are talking about.
Well, no,
really?
that's going to happen
No,
when
I
there's
recognize his face a little bit, but other than that, I have no idea.
Dana, you've never seen Unforgiven. You'd love it.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's one of those movies I know I would love. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
And I could say the same thing about, what did you mention earlier? The French Connection. French Connection was kind of like Godfather to me. I've heard nothing but great things about it my entire life. Everybody says you have to see these movies. And for one reason or another, I've just never taken the time to get all the way through The Godfather or get all the way through The French Connection. It's not a big surprise, Ashley, that you wouldn't be totally dialed into Gene Hackman. A lot of what he did. I mean,
you would have been
retired. He retired from acting, 15 years ago?
At least, yeah.
You would have been 13 years old or something like that. But especially his role of Little Bill in Unforgiven, I think was his finest hour. You'd be William Money out of Missouri, killer of women and children. That's right. I've killed women and children, killed just about everything that walked or crawled at one point or another, and I'm here to kill you, Little Bill, for what you did to Ned. Every time I watch that movie and watch that final scene in the bar, chills up and down. Born in 1930 in San Bernardino, California, Josh, and little did he know, 54 years after his birth in San Bernardino, Twisted Sister would have put on that legendary Stay Hungry concert.
He knew.
Do you think he knew?
Yeah, he knew.
He had a feeling.
Can you imagine just when he lived with Dustin Hoffman back in the day? Can you imagine those two as roommates, how much action they got? It was a revolving door.
God.
They just put a revolving door in there instead of the apartment door.
It's like a DMV. You take a number and you wait your turn.
I was unaware of this until I was reading about Gene Hackman. Like I said, he was born in California, San Bernardino. Good evening, San Bernardino. We are Twisted Effing Sister. And that was the beginning of something great for Dee Snider. But we're not here to talk about Dee Snider. We're here to talk about Gene Hackman. Born in California, grew up in Illinois, lied about his age, enlisted into the Marines when he was 16, served 4 years as a radio operator. Wound up back in California, wanted to study acting. I had never known this, Josh. He was taking acting classes, and he met a fellow young actor by the name of Dusty Hoffman. They moved to New York together. And then the two of them moved into an apartment with Robert F. Me Running Sideways Duvall. And those three ended up being three of the most respected effing guys in acting. And I read something earlier this morning where Gene Hackman once said in 69, 70, if they would have been at a party and claimed, hey, the three of us are going to become three of the biggest actors in Hollywood, he said they would have been laughed right out of town. But that's exactly what all three of them accomplished. His big break, Gene Hackman's big break, was 1967. He was cast as Buck Barrow, the younger brother of Clyde Barrow, in the hit movie Bonnie and Clyde, where Warren Beatty portrayed Clyde. And that movie scarred me as a young person. I remember watching Bonnie and Clyde when I was 6 or 7 years old, and at least for a 6 or 7 year old kid in the mid-70s, that was very violent. I loved it, but yet it scarred me. But I do have fond memories of seeing Gene Hackman in that movie. That's too bad.
It is too bad. People are reminding me of Enemy of the State. Forgot about that one. He's so good. I knew we'd forget some obvious ones.
Never saw it.
Oh, it's another good one.
That was really good.
Wait. Is that where he's running around town with Will Smith?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. I must have watched at least parts of that.
Yeah, it was great. He served in the Marines, and he lied about his age, actually, to get into the Marines.
I mentioned that.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry. I was reading text.
These things happen.
Did it sound better the first or second time?
I personally, I liked it the first time around.
Yeah, you like your voice. I understand. I like yours better than mine.
The sound of my own voice is pleasing to me.
Did you mention how he had a lot of odd jobs?
No.
When he was a doorman, a truck driver. That's what people always talked about. He was like an everyman. That's what people liked about him so much.
He drove the big rigs,
yeah.
Huh? Well, sir, you are a cowardly son of a bitch. You just shot an unarmed man. He should have armed himself if he's going to decorate his saloon with my friend. That was from his character in Young Frankenstein.
No, that was different.
Well,
Must have missed that part.
Cripes. Behind enemy lines. Wow, that's a fun one.
That was a good one.
Which one of the...
Oh, yeah, the Royal Tannenbaums. I forgot he was in that, too.
Right.
I enjoyed
saw
that.
it.
I enjoyed that movie. Thank you, 80s made me, 90s raised me. Jesus, yeah.
It's about a wacky family that can't get right.
Yeah.
My sister talks about her love of that movie, and I never got around to that one either. Here are folks texting in about Gene Hackman. Uncommon Valor. Rings a bell. Never saw it.
Not familiar with that one either.
Uncommon Valor. The Replacements?
Oh, here's the coach.
Yep.
Is that the football movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's garbage.
I never saw that one either.
I enjoyed it.
Ooh, yeah. Faye Dunaway as Bonnie in Bonnie and Clyde. Sure. Reefer Smoking Jesus. Absolutely. She was stunning. Well, there you go. 95.
Not a bad run.
I was gonna say that's a good life.
I wouldn't be mad.
No, unless there are some folks who would say they don't want to get that old, right? You've heard that before, right?
Yeah, plenty of times.
It depends on how things are going between age 88 and 95,
Yeah.
whether whatever the window might be. Reminds me of that scene from Gene Hackman. He wasn't in Kingpin, was he?
I don't think so. No.
That scene from Kingpin where Woody Harrelson's character steps out the front door of his garbage apartment, and there's an old-timer sitting in a lawn chair with an oxygen tank hanging from his nose. And Woody Harrelson says, "How's life, Donnie?" And the character says, "Taken forever."
Some people, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, so Ashley, maybe it seems like somebody you'd be.
Trachtenberg.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Michelle Trachtenberg passed away. I wasn't familiar with her, but this was written about, everywhere yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. It's awful. She died at 39 years old.
She had some sort of disease or condition or something? I'm sorry, I didn't follow it too much. I saw the headlines.
Yeah, she had some health issues. I think something to do with her liver.
She had just gotten her liver transplant last month and was found dead in her apartment.
Yeah, she was a big part of my childhood because I was obsessed with the show Gossip Girl. And she had a huge role on there.
And
She was
for
also
people-
in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
And for people a little bit older, she's got her start on the Nickelodeon show Pete and Pete, and then the movie Harriet the Spy.
Harriet the Spy was awesome.
It was a fantastic movie.
So this is a young lady.
Yeah,
39
very
years
sad.
old.
And again, how?
We don't know yet. They just said a wellness check was done by her mom, and she was found dead in her apartment in New York City.
For Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's too bad. I mean, she obviously must have been a pretty beloved star because it was written about so much yesterday.
Yeah, she was. I
that
saw it
kinda rocked me a little
absolutely
bit
everywhere.
yesterday.
39, huh?
Also in the movie Euro Trip, she was great in that as well.
I haven't seen that.
What in the world is
that dumb? It looked kind of dumb.
I mean, it's silly. It's fun, though.
Oh, well, here, Real Dirt Nasty Jesus just texted as you said that saying it was great. Euro Trip.
Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty didn't know, man.
How old do you have to be to say you're middle-aged?
Well, I think it's changed, right?
I think in your
Couldn't it be
40s.
40? Yeah.
Yeah, I always heard, like, at this point now, 50, which, I don't know if you can call that middle-aged, but it seems like...
That means you're going to live till 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if literally it does, I guess. But
Yeah, I think as soon as you hit 40, that's your new title.
I'm about to be middle-aged then.
Oh, really? 40 you think is middle? I would think older
Yeah.
than 40.
it depends on how you're built. It depends on your lifestyle, how healthy you are, I think. But at any rate, this conversation was had on the godless, evil internet. People going back and forth on what they consider to be middle age. Some say 35. You're not middle aged at 35. Christ almighty. I was still playing hockey and softball and drinking 24 hours a day when I was 35 and felt no pain. You are not middle aged at 35. I'll make a hard stance on that. But basically, folks, some say 40. Some, like Josh said, some say 60.
60.
Whoa.
Coffee Snob Jesus said 35.
No.
Yeah, that seems pretty young.
You're not middle-aged at 35. So basically what you need to figure out here is what's the age where you have to admit that you're not young anymore, but you still get to claim you're not an old person yet. And that's why I lean more towards 40, 45. That's my answer. Not that any of us are going to lose any sleep over this, but that's the route I would take.
Wikipedia says middle-aged is between 45 and 65.
That's way too broad of a range right there.
That's a
Yeah, I would
20-year
think-
window.
See, I was going to say like 45 to 55. Seem middle age, but I mean, middle age is probably the wrong word, right? I mean, legitimately. I mean, the majority of men in my family live to 65, right? So 32 and a half would be middle aged in my life.
I'm trying to
Please
think
tell
of-
me that's good math.
That sounds right to me. I'm not one to argue arithmetic with anybody.
Yeah,
I'm trying
don't
to
ask
think
me.
of how I describe people when, depending on their age, like, oh, yeah, that guy's like around my age, or that guy's young, he's in his 30s. If I describe somebody in their 40s, 50s, or 60s, I'd say, yeah, they're like middle age, kind of old.
Sure, but you're acting like Wikipedia, lumping everyone together between 45 and 65. I think you got to narrow it down a little more than that. But, whatever, who cares?
It's quite a difference.
When you look at Josh, I don't think anybody, there's all different routes you could take here. By someone's appearance, maybe. Look at Josh. He does not look middle-aged. Look at you. You're a young person still. You look at me, I tell a different story, I think. But I'll just make one stance like I already did a couple minutes ago. There's no way you can say middle-aged at 30 effing 5. You're
No.
young. 35, you are young.
Yeah, you are. And you might not feel like it when you're that age. I remember at 28 thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be 30. I can't believe how old I am. And I remember older people saying you're just a kid. And now I agree with that. At the time, I thought they were crazy. And how old are you, Ashley? Are you 37?
27.
27?
That'd be crazy.
27, 28, which one is it?
27.
Yeah, you're a damn kid.
Yeah, you are.
That's all you are.
And you're having one.
Yes, sir.
All right, Josh, you answer this now on the topic of age. These are supposedly the things you don't have to worry about in a relationship if you're over 50. Now, you're close enough. You'll
A month away, yeah.
Yeah. And don't worry about
less than a month.
Don't worry about over 50.
A month from today.
What?
It's a month from today. I'll be 50.
It's a month from your birthday. Don't worry about over 50. Let's just go 50 and up. And you're damn near there. Your wife is 7-8 years older than you, right?
No, she's younger than I am. Yeah.
Oh, your wife is younger than you?
You're basing it on looks, but yeah, just her actual age is a couple years younger than me.
Well, that's shocking. Yeah. And I am basing it all on appearance.
I understand.
No way I would guess that she's younger than you.
A lot of people make that mistake.
All right.
I've made that mistake. I have to think about it. Oh, no, she's 2 years younger than I am.
You've asked her questions about the 60s.
Yeah, I have. Or else I'll just say, hey, when you get to your age, what's it like? Does this start to happen?
Did you go nuts when the Beatles came to town?
Yeah.
Well, how was that? Anyway.
Oh, my God.
Are these the things, would you agree, that these are the things you don't have to worry about in a relationship once you hit 50? And by the way, I'm still waiting on some kind of invite to your 50th birthday alcoholic showdown that I hope someone in your family has the friggin' brains to plan for you.
Yeah, I'm not too interested in it, but my oldest wants to do something.
Okay, good. I know you're not interested. You're never interested in those kinds of things, but I just think it should happen. It should happen. You love this I'm not going to live past 60 gimmick, so have a party, for Christ's sake.
That's a good point.
That's a really good point.
Now they got a handful more opportunities.
You're so convinced that you're in the twilight of your life. You better have a party. Waiting for the other person to make the first move. You don't have to worry about that when you hit 50 in a relationship, do you, Joe? No. But how does it play out? You know what I mean? Nowadays for you, after being with the same woman for so long, how automatic, how robotic, or is it still wildly passionate? Are you firing each other up against the wall? Get those clothes off, old woman. How do you...
Well, here's the problem. I am a serial groper. I like to have my hands all over her and most of the day.
Thank God you don't do that in public.
No. Yeah. I don't like the public
You're
stuff.
not a public guy.
Yeah, I like to squeeze things and whatnot. I'm a big fan of that.
Okay, so that's how you let her know.
But it just happens so often that it doesn't necessarily indicate. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm down, whenever, but it doesn't really indicate that things are about to happen.
Okay, but that is how you would make your first move.
Yeah.
I just straight up ask. Does that make me old? It's like, hey.
Do you want to have sex?
Yeah. Want to have sex?
Oh, yeah, that's totally normal.
Okay.
I think that's how most of us do it, especially if you've been in a relationship for... You want to bump?
I'm too lazy to do the whole...
No.
The whole 5-step thing.
I've never done that.
Really?
Yeah, I've never...
You never said you want to...
You want some marital relations? No.
Oh, yeah. I like to talk nasty. All right. Things you don't have to worry about once you're in a relationship. Things you don't have to worry about in a relationship once you're around 50 years old. Sharing interests.
We do.
But it's not something that concerns you. If your wife wants to watch poker on television or something horrible like that, it doesn't bother you if you have to go downstairs and watch
not
something.
At all.
Right.
And, like we talked about not too long ago, she loves to travel. I don't.
Right.
So now I've just been I've told her forever, but now she's taking me up on it. Just go do what you want to do.
Dude, me and the wife hit a major speed bump in our, as she would call it, our journey of love and growth. And it happened just a couple of days ago. I'm in the bedroom. I have a tray of food fit for a 10-year-old on a plate resting on my belly as I watch television. That's how I like to... That's my afternoon, Monday through Friday. Yeah.
Dino Nuggets, nice.
I got the television on, right? I got the food. She walks in to say hello to me, and I'm watching the Three Stooges, and she was disgusted.
Which one? The movie or...
Oh, the old television show.
One.
I found out the other day that I have on my setup, on my television, We do some kind of an internet thing that I don't understand. That's how we get television.
Yeah,
Do you follow
apps
it?
and stuff. Yep.
I don't. I suppose. I don't know. I found out the other day that I have a Three Stooges channel that shows their programming 24 hours a day. I found this out a couple days ago, so I'm laying there on the bed watching the Three Stooges. She was absolutely disgusted with me, and she said, "Oh my God, this is so stupid. The Three Stooges are so stupid. You should watch more intelligent programming." And I said, "Are you friggin' nuts? The Three Stooges is one of my favorite." And she says, "It's just stupid. I can't believe." And she walks out of the room. And I said to myself, I don't think we're going to make it.
I don't think you are either.
Because I absolutely love the Three Stooges. Their old friggin' shows.
Me too.
I can watch
as a kid, I used to watch that anytime it was on.
And now, ever since I discovered this Three Stooges channel, it's all I watch now. It's all I watch.
I'm surprised she doesn't like it.
She hates it. And I don't know, dude.
More intelligent programming.
This is killing me. Maybe, Nick, you can help me because I know it. Was it Rod Stewart? It was an artist that both of us enjoy that my wife said she didn't like. Maybe it was Rod Stewart. Shoot.
Yeah, I remember this, but I can't think of. And we were both kind of taken aback.
Yeah, I thought she was joking, and I looked at her like she was an alien.
We both questioned whether or not we could remain friendly with her. It could have been Rod Stewart. I just can't put it. Maybe text your wife. Doesn't she wake up early?
She's early.
All right. When you get a little older in a relationship, well, when you hit 50, you don't have to worry about what they call here the intimacy quota. No. Now, when you're younger, for whatever reason, you think, well, we better be having sex 7 or 8 times a day or she's going to lose interest or he's going to lose. You don't care about that anymore.
Yeah, I have a hard time letting that one go.
You bump when you want to bump. Don't bother me. If I don't want to bump, don't bother me.
I don't know if it's just because I'm a woman and you just naturally have that kind of guilt, but I feel bad if it's been 4 days or so. I'm do you hate me? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
are you mad at me?
That's just your youth.
I wouldn't even know how many days. Yeah, there's no way I would think something like that.
You'll fall in line with this eventually, Ashley. You don't care about that stuff anymore.
I can't wait.
You'll get there.
Are you tired of sex already?
No.
You know what?
I'm
Ashley,
just tired of feeling guilty about it.
Yeah.
And it's not like he makes me feel guilty at all. Every single time he's like, dude, what? Who cares? He's already at that stage.
Yeah.
Where he's like, when was the last time? Saturday? I don't know.
you might feel that way after you have my nephew. Things are going to change for you.
Yeah, that's true. That's going to be weird. That's going to be because you're not supposed to have sexual intercourse for 6 weeks after you give birth. I believe that's the timeline.
That's what I remember them saying.
Well, not with your significant other. You're not supposed to have sex
or ever again
with your significant other for 6 weeks. You can have sex with whoever else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got to read between the lines.
All right, my wife got back to me. Yes, it was Rod Stewart.
That's upsetting.
It is upsetting, but she said, but even more, she hates Tom Petty. So that might put you a little redeeming quality there.
The poor guy, he died, I can't believe she'd use the word hate. He's dead.
Well, she uses the word hate quite a bit.
She's a hateful person.
I hate you, I hate how you look.
I was never crazy about Tom Petty and his music. I understand the impact he had, and except for, what's that one song? You got lucky, babe, when I found you. I like that one.
He's got some good tunes.
A couple of them. Speaking of that intimacy quota, a friend of mine, simple sumbitch, and we love him for it. When he got engaged to his wife, I think maybe we were ice fishing when he announced it to us. He said, yeah, I'm going to marry Missy. And we said, oh, is that right? Cool, man. All right. Go ahead. And for whatever reason, he felt like he needed to further justify this announcement, and he said it this way. Yeah, I don't know, I've banged her about 10,000 times. I figure I got to marry her.
Oh.
And we said, okay, dude. Cool.
Yeah, all right.
What else do you not have to worry about if you're in a relationship and you're 50? Being with each other 24/7, you embrace independence? Absolutely. You cannot be together the way you were when the relationship started, or you end up stabbing each other to death in a hotel in Ohio. That's just how it ends. You cannot spend too much time with your significant other, or the two of you will end up in a knife fight. You don't worry anymore about being in perfect shape. Hell no.
Oh, I can't wait until that happens. I've told my fiance so many times, once I hit 50, maybe it'll become lower over the years, but I'm done. I don't care anymore about anything.
It's way before you hit 50.
Yeah,
I'm getting fat and sassy and happy, and I cannot wait.
It's way before you hit 50.
This is the 100% the truth. When my wife said I do, I canceled my gym membership. It was within days.
Both of you end up looking like garbage when you're naked after a certain amount of time.
My fiance canceled his gym membership, or kind of just let it stop existing when he met me. I thought, all right, cool.
Josh is up at the altar. She says I do and immediately cancels it on his phone.
Yeah, as soon as she said I do, that was it for me.
Speaking of being with your significant other all the time, I used to work a warehouse job with a guy. He and I worked hip to hip, face to face, butt to butt. Everybody but me and this guy worked side by side in the warehouse. He was a married guy, lived with his wife. We got to get going here. We're running late. He was a married guy, lived with his wife, of course. They worked in the same building. His wife worked at the same company. She was in the office. He was in the warehouse. So, married, lived together, drove to work every morning together, had lunch every day together, rode back home together, and then on the weekend, of course, there they are, a married couple. And I said, dude, how do you do that? And he straight up looked me in the eye and said, things have to change soon or he's going to go nuts. Now, I haven't seen him in years, and I don't know if things ever change. But he said there was one Friday night where he walked up to her, again, after spending all this time together for how long? One Friday night, he walked into the kitchen and said, yeah, you want to go have some dinner or something? And she said, I'll tell you what I want. You got to get out of my face right now or I'm going to kill you. And he said, I get it.
Yeah, as humans, you need that time alone.
We got to get going. Maybe we can finish this up later because we're running late. We're talking about the things you don't have to worry about in a relationship if you're over 50. There's a few more things we could touch on. What's going on this morning? Randy Shaver's going to stop by. He's down in Florida, too. We get to hear about his experience yesterday at the ball game. He went and watched some Twins spring training. I'm sure he's got other thoughts he wants to share with us as well. We'll take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Dana here to tell you all about my new friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. You see, I've been doing apartment living ever since my parents kicked me out back in the day, but now I'm back living in a house. I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to any project. That's where Standard comes into play. They cranked on my furnace to get it really cooking for another cold winter. And think about this. Standard's been doing this for over 95 years. That means at one point, they made sure your great-grandpappy was all nice and warm in his butt-flap jammies. So get in touch with the folks at standardheating.com and make sure you ask about becoming a Smart Club member. That's standardheating.com.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.
Former U.S. Navy SEAL Sean Ryan captures real stories about sacrifice and strength.
My biggest fear wasn't death. My biggest fear was nobody will remember me.
That motivates a lot of people.
It just made me feel invincible. Open the steel door and just... They were all convinced, I think, that they were about to die. This rush of stress comes over me because now it's soul time.
All of a sudden, I'm saying, what is really important?
Let us reveal the truth of ourselves.
That's it.
The Sean Ryan Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Here we were a few minutes ago talking relationships and such. A few minutes ago, but weren't we? Right, we were talking relationships, and now we can go this way. This ain't right. It sounds to me like the ultimate crazy bitch got paired up with the ultimate wimp. And they got engaged, and it turned into some kind of a twisted horror show. It says here now, a story out of China, don't you know? Says here, hang on to something, too, because I'm going to go ahead and assume that most of us have never heard anything like this before. The gal, crazy bitch, decided to, quote, her fiancé. I'll get there. She decided to test her fiancé, wimp ass. Crazy bitch decided to test wimp ass. Some folks are into that kind of a thing when they're in a relationship. At one point or another, they test their significant other to see if, I mean...
Kind of annoying.
Yeah, big time.
Mostly chicks do that because they're shady. Some kind of little secret test, to see how you react. It's silly. But that's what we're looking at here. This gal decided to test her fiancé by putting the sad sumbitch through 3 hours of electric shocks to his stomach to simulate the pain of giving birth. Now, my guess is this all started when Wimp-Ass said something to his nutjob fiancé about making babies in the future, and she started in on how much pain is involved in spraying out a baby, and her psychosis took over, and next thing you know, Wimp-Ass finds himself locked into a friggin' torture rack. That's my guess.
A lot of people do this. I've wanted to do this.
What? A lot of people do this?
Yeah, I've seen plenty of videos of this.
The shocks?
Yeah.
Well, the closest I've seen is when, the future dad will wear the fat suit or whatever, the fake pregnancy belly.
I've never heard of this. And you say a lot of people do this.
Yeah, and
Here in
I
the
get
States?
it. I've told my fiance, dude, I need you to, I want to do this with him because there are a lot of times where, especially yesterday, I was having really bad cramping.
Oh.
And men just don't understand, how bad it actually hurts. And, he's like, no, you're fine. Just, lay down, drink some water. And it's like, I just want you to experience it for a second because you would think that you're having a severe medical emergency and that you need to go to the ER.
Well, so you want your fiancé to relate. Trust me, Ashley, you don't want to exactly do this, what I'm about to explain to you.
No, did she take it a little far?
Oh, she took it a little far. Did you not hear where I said 3 hours of electric shocks to his stomach?
Yeah, and maybe be, sorry, maybe 1 or 2. That would probably do
1 or
the job.
2 hours?
No, shocks.
Oh.
Nobody knows why the dude agreed to be more or less tortured. My guess is because he didn't have the balls to say no to his lady, because he's one of those guys who was born to be instantly pee-whipped. But the poor bastard ended up being nearly mangled to death by the Childbirth Simulator Shock Machine 2001. He quickly came down with something called intestine necrosis and had to have emergency surgery because of the damage to his guts.
That's a little far.
Yeah. You want to take your fiance to a clinic or whatever and, give him a little, with the machine. Oh, that hurts. Oh, now I know what childbirth. Sure.
Yeah.
3 hours of holding the guy down. The good news is this near-death experience has forced Wimp-Ass to grow a set of nuts. The abdominal torture porn he was involved in convinced him to not only break off the engagement with this crazy gal, but he's also going to go ahead and sue her ass. Now, the crazy gal wrote on Chinese social media that her mother and sister suggested that she make her fiancé experience the, quote, pain of childbirth before getting married to ensure that he would be a considerate husband. Oh, for Christ's sake.
I mean, you can still be empathetic if you... For example, if one of you guys lost an appendage with a chainsaw accident,
sure,
I would be very empathetic and understand. Boy, I wouldn't know what that's like. I would never want to be in that situation, but I'm here to support you.
Yeah, I would understand if he was downplaying it and he's like, "Oh, you're weak. This is nothing."
I don't think Wimp-Ass was coming off that way. I don't.
Josh, you're not going to take your leg off because someone else lost their leg?
No, I'm not going to. But I feel for you. It's a genuine empathy.
Yeah.
Now, this torture chamber ended up taking place at a maternity care facility run by the crazy gal's sister. She used an electrical stimulation device designed specifically to simulate the pain of childbirth. But she just hammered this poor bastard in his boiler with the damn thing for 3 hours. She admitted for the last 90 minutes of this electric pounding, she had that pig dialed up to max power. 90 minutes.
She was taking some aggression out on this guy.
She's going to have an awful birth because of this. Karma's going to get her. It's going to be like a 12-hour pushing ordeal.
Yeah, possibly. And remember, she willingly gave this information out on social media. She said by the end of the experience, he was completely exhausted and his stomach was as hard as a board. Now, later that night, Wimp-Ass started spraying vomit all over the apartment. He was in a lot of pain, but he never did give birth.
Oh, he didn't?
The next day, he needed to see a doctor. And after checking into the neighborhood hospital, doctors saw that she had about turned his intestines to dust with that childbirth murder machine. And that's when the dude and his family told her the wedding is off and she's going to get sued. Crazy gal is so crazy that it says here she fired up that Chinese social media I was telling you about, and she asked people for advice on this issue like it was an everyday relationship problem.
Oh, I've been there. I can tell you, honey.
She's not wired proper. So many people lit her up on Chinese social media that she just upped and got smooth out of there. Word is she might be looking at 3 years in prison for what she did to her ex-fiancé.
I don't get how she could have done it more than a couple minutes just looking at the pain this guy was. I mean, it was obvious he was just tortured.
That's a really good point, Josh. She lacks empathy, too.
Yeah, exactly. Hick Chick, she just said, I think my husband understands the pain of childbirth. I've watched him roll around in pain from kidney stones multiple times.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
And Ashley, what do you think of this from Melvin the Mop Boy Jesus? Poop pains and stomach cramps are pretty much the same thing. So, yes, dudes do know what it's like.
We get it.
Yeah, you can die from that too, right?
I was on a medication for a little bit that when you take in the morning, it makes your stomach a little queasy for a little bit. And I told a friend of mine who had a couple kids, I said, I feel a little nauseous in the morning, so I know exactly what you went through during your pregnancies. She didn't think that was very funny.
Michelle, this is a good point. She said, anybody remember the Princess Bride scene when Wesley gets tortured by the machine? That's what she's imagining. Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like.
I don't remember that.
Poor guy.
I'll be damned.
I think she should have tried it herself first.
I'm with you.
To see if it was going to be comparable.
Practice.
Because some people don't, it's not that bad for everybody. Some people are just very unlucky, and some people are lucky.
You know, Cubby, I didn't think that English people had sex parties. I assumed they were too boring and unattractive for that. But here we are. I'm about to tell you about an English sex party. One that went sideways. I'll tell you that right now. Says here, 3 fellers got themselves stabbed during a brawl at an English sex party. Now, the first thing that crosses my mind is, oh, Lord, did anyone lose their tallywhacker? And I'm happy to say that despite knives being used as weapons at the sex party, no peckers got directly caught up in the violence. So I guess that's good news. The sex party was hosted by some big shot sleaze barrel over there by the name of Lord Eddie Davenport. Lord, whatever, bruh.
He kind of looks like a douchebag.
Dude held the party at what they call here in the story the notorious Marrowbone Mansion. Whatever that means. I guess that's where you give someone the old marrowbone. If this means anything to you, I think we talked about this person. A porno star lady with the very unoriginal name of Bonnie Blue recently got pinned by more than 1,000 dudes in 12 hours at that same mansion. Little side note for you.
Oh,
it's a lot of stabbings right there.
She just pretended to be pregnant. It's weird.
She just recently pretended to be pregnant?
Yeah, and then walked it back and claimed she was going to donate money to somebody struggling with pregnancy. like IVF treatment.
Huh?
Yeah, a little weird. A little weird.
Huh?
Struggling getting pregnant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Little weird.
Pretending to be pregnant. Okay. Now, it says here the troublemakers at this year's latest sex party, the one held by Lord of the Dorks, Eddie Davenport, the troublemakers were a group of drug dealers who were slinging dope at the party. The stabbings occurred, and this is fun. You'll like this part. The stabbings cut loose on the party at around 7 o'clock in the morning last Saturday. There better be some dangerous street drugs in my system if I'm having sex at 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning. I don't even think about waking up till 10 on Sundays. I better be high on meth if I'm having sex at 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning. Cops and paramedics were called. They described the scene as a bloodbath.
Ooh.
The new guy said it looked like a battle scene rather than a sex club. That was the new guy. None of the naked, stabbed, bleeding, drugged up men with erections suffered life-threatening injuries. And 3 people were arrested. So think twice, Josh, before you go to an English sex party.
You know, stabbing's so intimate, I wouldn't want to stab a man with an erection, whether mine or his. I'd wait for things to kind of wind down and somebody to put their boxers back on or something.
Think we got to have at least our drawers on?
Yeah.
What about flaccid?
I mean, flaccid is more tolerable.
Okay.
But if it was Ashley, I mean, sounds like the type of party you'd want to go to.
Yeah.
You've told us before.
Somebody texted in and asked if I was there.
You want an invite to the next one?
Well, F me. I wonder how many of us could handle this here. A husband and wife. They say they were forced to sit next to a dead body for several hours after a gal dropped dead on a 15-hour airplane ride.
Oh, man.
The couple goes by the names of Mitchell Ring and Jennifer Collin. They say they were going from Australia to some other godforsaken place. It was a poke. Long-ass flight, okay? Long plane ride. An unidentified female passenger suffered what they call here a medical emergency in the aisle of the airplane, and it killed her dead. Now, Mr. Ring, the dude out of this married couple, he said it was pretty heartbreaking to watch. Yeah, I can believe that. But little did he know at the time, he and that freshly deceased body were going to become tight. He said they tried to wheel this dead woman up towards the front of the airplane, but she was quite a large lady, and they couldn't get her through the aisle. So dude and his wife, Jennifer, they had a couple empty seats in their row. And the flight crew asked them if they'd move over so they could set the dead carcass next to them.
You can't really say no, can you? Does that
Sure
make you an awful person?
Yes, I think that would make, well, not an awful person. I guess I don't know what it makes you. I give the guy a pile of credit here. He said, yeah, no problem. You can put the body next to me.
I think I try and be a go with the flow type of guy and understanding of their situation there, but that would be very creepy. And
it would be tough, yeah.
Yeah. And I know they felt the same way, but I would wonder, I wonder what the family of the deceased would think that he's just buckled up here sitting right next to me.
Yeah, what else could they do? You know?
Yeah, I don't know.
So they dumped the dead lady into the chair next to him. I'd need a beer, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
There's a picture out there, Summers, of this Ring feller, the husband, sitting in his chair, playing with his cell phone with the dead body seated next to him. It was about 4 hours before they finally landed the airplane. They'll remember that trip.
Can't they put the body, below the plane? Kind of where the luggage goes?
They couldn't get her down the aisle.
Yeah.
She was a big one.
Too big to get down the aisle.
Oh, if you have to use the bathroom and you have to like squeeze past her.
Gonna sneak right past you.
Oh, that would be so uncomfortable in ways that I can't even imagine.
What a story to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they got, I don't know, maybe a free Caribou coffee or something when they landed.
You pick them up, you drop them, Jesus said. You should ask if you can have her meal since she won't be eating. I noticed she didn't eat her meal yet.
Twice the peanuts and Salisbury steak or whatever they shove in front of you on those airplane rides. Ooh-wee. Hey, sir. Yes? Do you mind if we just kind of keep the dead body in the seat next to you?
Dog walking, she just brings up a good point. That's the best seatmate ever. She doesn't talk at all.
No,
she's not going to bug you.
Not going to snore?
You ever had one of those seatmates on an airplane that wouldn't shut the hell up?
No. Thank the Lord.
Only once. Because usually I've been lucky and, you're seated next to someone that you know, and folks that know me are aware of the fact that I don't want a hell of a lot of talking. I just want to grip that handrail and ride it out into the end in complete terror. But I have sat next to a few strangers back when I used to get on airplane rides. One lady, oh God, I don't know, 3 hours from here to Mississippi, and all she wanted to talk about the entire time was Peyton Manning.
Oh yeah?
What? No.
This was back when he was a college quarterback at the University of Tennessee, and she was from Tennessee. And it all started with, she asked me, did you see that Tennessee ball game the other day? No, I missed it. And she took a deep breath and talked about Peyton Manning for 3 hours.
I don't even give them a chance to talk to me. My headphones are on as soon as I step 1 foot on that airplane.
Even if I'm not listening to something?
Yep.
Oh, seriously?
For that exact reason, yeah. I don't want to talk to anybody.
See, I can't do the headphones thing. I have to hear every single sound.
Yeah, that's rough then, man.
I have to be sure that nothing is rattling and nothing is beeping too much. Then there was a time I got that boner.
Oh.
That was embarrassing. It's a true story.
The old plane boner, huh?
Yeah. Have you guys had an airplane boner?
I haven't.
No.
I don't think so.
This is back when I was properly mixing drugs and alcohol in order to sleep on an airplane. There was a brief period of time where I had it under control. I knew the proper mix of drugs and alcohol to where I would get on the airplane and I would fall completely unconscious and I would wake up when we hit the ground. It was a magical thing. I don't know what I did wrong because it stopped working after a while. But I remember I was flying alone, and I was probably 30 years old, and I was seated next to two adorable college-looking gals, right? And I was already totally floating on air by the time I was walking the aisle to get into my seat, walking the aisle of the airplane. And when I sat down, I said to these gals, I am on drugs and alcohol because I don't like to fly. And I said, I am going to fall asleep before this friggin' thing even takes off. If I end up, laying on you or whatever, just blast me back up against the window. You have my permission, I told them, to push me away, whatever you have to do. I apologize, but I'm going to be out cold here in minutes. And sure as hell, it worked. I woke up when we hit the ground, and I had a massive erection, and the two college-age gals were laughing at me.
If that happened now, you'd be everywhere on social media.
Oh, yeah. You'd be
People would be taking pictures, yeah.
Good point.
You're right.
Plane boner.
Videos.
I would have been airplane boner guy.
I'd be super stoked if some guy sat down next to me and was like, hey, I'm on a lot of alcohol and drugs. I'm like, oh, dude, can you please stay awake? This could be fun.
Yeah. Can we just talk for an hour?
Yeah.
I want to see what you say.
You got any more?
I mean, it hurt. It was one of those, Josh, where it hurt.
Oh, yeah, I've had that. It's too much boner.
Yeah, because my pants were ready to burst. It was just horrible. And they both were laughing, and then I got to get up and grab my backpack, and I still have a boner.
Could hang the backpack on the boner.
Why is it? Why does sometimes you have too much boner? I don't understand.
Sleep.
That's got to be a part of it.
Sleep usually gives you more boner than you can handle. All right, what time is it?
Your mom's chest hair, Jesus, said that it's called an altitude boner. They're rare, but common at the same time.
Is that a true story?
I don't know.
Altitude boner.
Something about the air and the blood? Or,
what if they brought that up in the little speech the flight attendant gives about where the exits are and stuff? You may experience what we call an altitude boner. It's natural.
They show an outline of a male body with a big oar coming out of its pants or something.
Don't put it on TikTok or nothing like that. It's a natural thing. You can't control it.
I would love that if they'd add that into the flight safety.
Uncle Bitch Jesus said it's a mile-high chub.
Mile-high chub.
You've joined the mile-high chub.
Oh, God. All right. Josh loved this type of stuff here. Josh loves this. When a typical trash bag, derelict criminal accidentally crosses paths with a well-trained karate, jiu-jitsu, MMA guy, and the derelict gets his jaw kicked loose.
I
love this.
Unexpected instant justice. It's the best.
It happens. This time it was in the home of the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. A derelict snatched a lady's purse and ran. The lady was hot. The karate guy saw how hot she was, so he gave chase. He kicked the derelict in the nuts, and he got the hot lady's purse back for her. And then I would assume the karate guy went home later that night and masturbated while thinking about the hot lady. Yeah.
I wasn't even a part of it, and I did.
Literally out of nowhere, this guy appears like a ninja, and he's like, here you go. And I'm like, what the hell?
I caught up with him, and then I gave him a kick on the leg. As I got him a kick on the leg, he dropped the bag and stumbled, and then he kept running away.
He's from South Africa. Stephen Venter is the name of the karate hero guy. He runs a karate joint called Action Karate, which is boring. Yeah. The hot lady goes by Jennifer Romanelli. She was in the dry cleaners across the street from the karate place when the lowlife snatched her purse. But even from across the street, the karate guy could tell that this lady was hot enough to where he would have to go running after the bad guy. I don't believe he would have run after the bad guy every time.
You don't?
No.
I don't know. I think
it had to do with this lady being absolutely scorching hot.
I mean, that could be a part of it, but I'd also think if you know karate, you want to use it.
If my purse would have got snatched off, oh, no, you're right about that. You're absolutely right about that.
I think he's just hoping to find a reason to use his karate.
I agree 99.9% of the time. But you think if my purse would have been snatched, he would have been right? I don't think so. I think this was about heat. And she slings a lot of it. Stephen, whatever his name is, handed the purse back to the hot lady. And then he went right back to teaching a ninja class.
Sweet.
And this gal is so good looking that Stefan is going to cut loose with a free women's self-defense and kickboxing class coming up in a couple weeks. And the hot lady says she's going to show up for that.
Yeah, that dude really wants to get laid.
I've always wanted to do one of those.
What if this couple? What if these people get married because of all of this?
Well, that'd be a romantic comedy someday starring Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
I can't picture him doing any martial arts.
Yeah. I could have. I was on the spot. I should have picked a better name than that.
Jason Statham.
There you go.
What do you trust when you're in a fight, Josh? As far as your karate skills goes, with the upper body, or do you kick?
Oh, I can't kick.
What?
No, I can't do that at all.
So you use your arms, you chest punch, throat punch.
I run.
You run.
Yeah.
Oh my word!
Or I do what they call the armadillo. I'll just play dead.
And you mentioned on the show before that your nunchuck skills aren't really up to par either.
No, I've got myself in the nuts.
Does this look quick enough for you? Watch this. Whoop-a!
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Right in the chest, like a heart punch. I'll kill a guy. All right, before we go here, the folks in Hollywood are pricks. Of course, you know the leg lamp gimmick from that Christmas movie, A Christmas Story, right?
Yep.
The dad in the movie buys a leg lamp. It's tacky and it's stupid, but at the same time, it's kind of awesome. Ha ha, very funny. Josh has a leg lamp because he's a big fan of that motion picture.
What is it?
It's a leg.
But what is it?
Yeah, well, it's a leg, like in a statue.
There's that guy.
That was a sexy lamp. I remember as a kid even going, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's adorable.
There's some godforsaken town in Oklahoma by the name of Chickasha, and for some ungodly reason, they have a massive 40-foot tall replica Christmas Story leg lamp sitting there in the middle of town.
This is up on 93x.com.
Check it out. Appreciate that, Smashley, for putting that up on 93. So word is they've been contacted by Warner Brothers Motion Pictures, the folks who must own the rights to the Christmas Story movie, but I don't know exactly. And Warner Brothers has demanded the removal and destruction of Chickasha, Oklahoma's replica leg lamp. Gimmick infringement, Cubby, is what they're saying. They're crying gimmick and copyright infringement, just like Ric Flair did when Kurt Angle said, because Kurt Angle is back on Raw, baby. Woo!
That's too bad. But they can't just let it go.
The town of Chickasha is hoping they can work something out with those greedy bastards at Warner Brothers Motion Pictures Incorporated LLC, public and parochial.
It's so big.
Yeah,
so
it's
big.
a 40-foot tall leg lamp.
It's so crazy. Like, yeah, just let them keep it. You're lame.
Because your days being number one around here are over, Angle said to Ric Flair. So, yeah, I don't know why they have to do such a thing. Why do they give two pumps what's happening in Chickasha or whatever I said, Oklahoma?
Yeah, I don't know.
Stupid.
That's so fun. Why do they have that?
I mean, like the town guy that complains about stuff. It's like, we're not making any money on this thing. Any money that's made goes right to Warner Brothers. They don't get it. They don't understand.
Really? If they make any money, like if Chickasha had a situation that said, come see our leg lamp, charge $5 a head, they send that money to one?
According to him, he said, yeah, we don't, it's not like we make money on this. We pay the people that have the license for it.
Oh, I didn't know that part. So they are paying out for it. Leave them alone. Leave them the hell alone. Yes, thank you for texting in. We know that Gene Hackman is dead.
Very sad.
Yeah, it's a terrible story.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
You got a smile on your face.
Because how do you get mono in college? I mean, what do you do to get that?
Inquiring minds want to say, in college.
Yeah, exactly.
See, listen, you got to watch the drinks you drink out of in cups. You got to watch it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Gus Johnson and Jim Jackson calling a college basketball game. They're joking around about how the hell does a college student catch mono?
It's a mystery.
Oh, I had mono when I was younger. It was awful.
I'll tell you one way to catch mono.
Oh, yuck.
Sharing beverages.
I'll tell you one way to do it. Is that how you caught mono?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, it wasn't from making they call it the kissing disease, do they not?
Yeah, because it's
Did you get
because
labeled?
it's spread by saliva, but no, I was younger, so
Oh,
I
so you
wasn't
didn't get
doing
labeled
that
as a
yet.
hussy?
No.
You were sharing a beer with somebody or something like that?
Just sharing like a Gatorade or whatever it was. But yeah, I was out of school for like at least a month. It was really bad.
Yeah, we had a girl, same thing. It was almost a month. Like
Cubby, did you ever catch mono?
Never once.
Oh, all your lymph nodes get all swollen. You find out where you have lymph nodes, that's for sure.
I was wondering where those were.
Yeah, you got some under your armpit that can swell pretty big.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you got a maxed out version.
Yeah, I did.
Of mono. I caught it in the spring of 1989.
Not this story.
Yes. Outdoor beer party, massive kegger. One of the most lawless keggers we ever had during our high school days. Maybe the ultimate, really. Fist fights, keg stands, HJs. And it was a chilly, kind of a rainy night, and I started wildly making out with one of my classmates. And after a while...
No.
What is that? There was some kind of liquid in my mouth. And that's when I found out that her nose was running
Barf.
into my mouth while we French kissed out in the rain.
Was she worth it?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
and
Did it keep you out of school for a while?
It did, Cubby. This was the best part of the whole situation. I found out that I had caught mono, and I missed 2 weeks of school And what's your name over here to my right? Ashley.
Yeah.
Those were the final 2 weeks of school, so I went on summer vacation before the rest of my douchebag classmates did.
Oh, that is cool.
How miserable were you, though?
It wasn't that bad.
Oh, well, I've heard it's just terrible. Were you exhausted, like they say?
That's all I remember about it is that I just was too weak to get up off the couch. But when you're 17 years old, hell, I didn't care. I never really was terribly sick. I was just out of gas, couldn't get off the couch or out of my bed for a couple of weeks. As long as I had a television going and some Skol or something, I was all right.
I almost went crazy. It's something with something that gets affected. I believe it's your spleen. And they told me that I had like a very dangerous version. So if I exerted myself too much, my spleen could burst.
Yeah, I remember them warning me that I could be dead.
And so they told me,
bad?
don't like get like overly excited. Don't get overly emotional. Well, when you tell me something like that, I went home and cried myself to sleep because I was afraid I was going to die.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if it's legitimately that serious, but Josh, I got the same speech. The doctor said, don't be going outside, running around, doing anything physical, or you could end up dead.
I'd never heard that part.
This or that will pop on your insides and you'll bleed out.
I just heard it's like crazy exhaustion. And the first time I heard of it was this girl, like I said, she was gone like 3.5 weeks from school. I'd never heard of it. And I didn't know at the time it was the kissing disease.
Oh, so sleepies.
Now that same, yeah, I was very sleepy. That same beer party, an Isuzu Trooper with 7 or 8 guys inside the Isuzu Trooper ran over a girl's skull at the party, and she lived.
That is so crazy.
I had an Isuzu Trooper back in the day.
Did you run over any skulls?
Nope, never once.
The big, tall, square ones from the late 80s, yeah.
Yeah, I love that thing.
You could see those coming for miles.
Remember Joe Isuzu?
No.
You didn't like the... Well, I guess you never saw those commercials.
Joe Isuzu?
He did their commercials.
I don't recall Joe.
He was like a Jake from State Farm, or, they have like their person, or what is it? The lady from Toyota, whatever her name is.
Did he have a catchphrase that you remember?
I'm sure
What did he say? What was his slogan? Real quick, I'll tell you that the Pigs are on the road tonight at Utah, starting at 8 o'clock, and then the Timbalbow, 9:45. They start. It's at the Los Angeles Lakers with Baby Nuts and LeBron and all those pricks. We'll talk to Randy Shaver here in about a half hour. Did you find out about Joe Isuzu?
Yeah. Here's a few of his quotes. Hi, it's me, Joe Isuzu. I mean, the Wikipedia says this.
Pretty catchy, if you ask me.
You have my word on it. If I'm lying, may lightning hit. If I'm lying, may lightning hit my mother. It has more seats than the Astrodome. It can carry a 2,000-pound cheeseburger. I don't remember any of these lines.
How did she handle your Isuzu Trooper? How did she handle?
Oh, it didn't last too long. It was total. I mean, like the engine fell apart maybe 6 months into it.
You ever fold them back seats down? And
no. Maybe to carry some lumber or something.
Carry some
cool.
recycling?
Yeah.
You took some, raked up the leaves, put the
That's
bags
about
in.
it, yeah.
Fair enough.
Such a cool car.
It's a great looking. We'll be right back. Josh's News is next.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Dana here to tell you all about my new friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. You see, I've been doing apartment living ever since my parents kicked me out back in the day, but now I'm back living in a house. I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to any project. That's where Standard comes into play. They cranked on my furnace to get it really cooking for another cold winter. And think about this. Standard's been doing this for over 95 years. That means at one point, they made sure your great-grandpappy was all nice and warm in his butt-flap jammies. So get in touch with the folks at standardheating.com and make sure you ask about becoming a Smart Club member. That's standardheating.com.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.
Wealth building expert Candy Valentino paves the path to success.
I was a founder before I could legally order a drink. Now my goal is to help you. And I interview guest experts.
David Anderson, I love what you said. I always say that you never learn in an echo chamber.
It's how we connect those dots to help us achieve the things we want to.
Tony Robbins, thank you so much for being here.
Of course, everybody loses money investing. Make sure you win in the long term.
How did you get rich?
I had to sum it up. It's a lot of hard work.
The Candy Valentino Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
It's all I ever wanted to do. So few people ever get what they really want in life.
Hollywood has just lost one of its greats. Legendary actor Gene Hackman has passed away just a month after celebrating his 95th birthday. A two-time Academy Award winner, Hackman's prolific career spanned 5 decades, earning him universal acclaim for his versatility and unmistakable everyman appeal. He brought to life a memorable range of characters, from the mischievous Lex Luthor in the Superman movies of the 70s and 80s, a comedic role as a blind man in Young Frankenstein, to a fallen high school basketball coach seeking redemption in Hoosiers. And his performance as the ruthless Sheriff Little Bill Daggett in Unforgiven won him an Oscar.
All right, gentlemen, he's got one barrel left. When he fires that, take out your pistols and shoot him down like the mangy scoundrel he is.
Lex Luthor. Possibly you've heard the name, the greatest criminal mind on earth.
Wait, a toast. Long friendship. Forget about the crowds, the size of the school, their fancy uniforms, and remember what got you here. Focus on the fundamentals. And most important, don't get caught up thinking about winning or losing this game. If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
Before Hollywood, he served in the Marines, having enlisted at just 16 by lying about his age, before taking on various odd jobs. Deputies conducting a welfare check yesterday afternoon discovered Hackman, his wife Betsy, and their dog deceased in their New Mexico home. While the exact cause of death has yet to be determined, authorities do not suspect foul play.
That's no way for a guy to go.
No.
If I was to go home today and watch one of his movies in honor of his passing, what would be the number one movie?
Without question, Unforgiven.
Yeah,
Unforgiven.
Easy
All right.
answer.
You haven't seen it yet?
Nope.
I will take up hands with you.
If I don't watch it?
If you don't watch it.
All right, I'll watch it today.
Watch that one.
We'll throw hands.
Yeah, you'll like it. I'm crazy to you? That's what 31-year-old Delonte Edmund Geiger asked police while they interrogated him about kidnapping, zip tying, beating, stabbing, and stuffing a woman into a plastic storage container. And before the officers could even answer his question, he decided to clear up any doubts by dropping his pants and showing them his butt. So maybe just a little crazy. During questioning, he went on a bizarre rant, casually confessing to his crimes while claiming to be a confidential informant.
I told you I was working for you guys. I asked you to turn the cameras off because I'm a confidential informant.
But right now you're not.
Dude, I'm on the clock all day, every day.
No, that's not really how that works.
The woman survived only because he let her, Delonte declared. Long story short, if I wanted to kill her, she would have been dead.
It's never fun when a man says that.
Facts, he told police. I beat her up. I fed her, showered her, all types of weird crap, made sure she ate. But I just couldn't let her go back on the streets and tell everybody I was working for y'all. I couldn't. He even bragged about surviving 3 attempts on his life. Then, unprompted, dropped his pants to show police his butt scars.
What the butt scars?
He told cops he was Captain the Crapper. I've been shot in my ass, he said.
Oh.
When officers finally found the victim, he admitted all of it, tying her up, beating her, moving her around to mislead cops, and eventually sealing her inside a 3-by-3-foot plastic bin with barely any air.
Oh, my God.
But he remained unbothered and then boasted, if the bitch was going to be dead, the bitch would have been dead in the lake by now. Y'all would have never found her, he said. At sentencing, the judge, who'd been on the bench for nearly 2 decades, said, I've had hundreds of kidnappings, probably hundreds of felonious assaults. Never have I seen anything of this magnitude.
I've never seen an offense like this in my time on the bench.
Now he's
Don't tell him that. He's going to fall even deeper in love with himself.
Now he's serving 16 to 20 years in prison.
Oh, not enough.
You know, there's a lot of madness out there these days, Cubby, obviously. I think 8 out of 10 of us are totally out of our minds. But there's a special kind of mental cooking in the minds of those folks who believe they're working undercover for the government.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
And then he justified his behavior saying, no, I'm just working for you.
There's a lot of those folks that go that route. They really believe it, that they're somehow working undercover for the government.
There won't be a happy ending for a 63-year-old woman with quite possibly the most fitting name for running a prostitution business. Soon Bang has been arrested, and she's in some serious trouble.
What the hell?
Bang, the owner of Oasis Spa in New Jersey, saw her establishment raided last week by police who discovered a large stash of condoms tucked away inside a mattress in what they described as a makeshift bedroom. Officers also found another condom strategically hidden inside a plant in one of the massage rooms. And proving that the universe has a sense of humor, there's another perfect name for this story. The investigator in charge of the case, Detective D. Large.
F me.
During questioning, D. Large said a 67-year-old Oasis Spa worker admitted to engaging in sexual intercourse and, quote, giving hand jobs for money.
Oh, my God.
A search of Soon Bang's home turned up a hefty amount of cash hidden in her bedroom, along with condoms identical to the ones found at the spa, suggesting maybe she'd like to bring work home with her. Police say Oasis Spa has had numerous online reviews for explicit sexual acts with customers, and Soon Bang is now facing charges for promoting and engaging in prostitution as well as money laundering.
Oh, my goodness.
It's the perfect name for the perfect... I mean, I guess she could have had a fireworks stand.
Is there a mugshot involved in this story?
There is. Of Soon Bang?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take a look.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and Google that.
And D. Large. Like
D. Large.
D-E-E.
They just had the initial.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm sure they're trying to be funny there. Yeah, D. Large.
She's in trouble, huh?
A 42-year-old man accused of driving a stolen van smashed into a Florida business called Smash Fitness. He took the name literally, before being found in a bush. The Lee County Sheriff's Office responded to a carjacking at a Holiday Inn Express Tuesday, where the caller said a man approached a van in the parking lot and demanded the driver get out. Following what was described as a physical altercation, the suspect, Adam Naylor, stole the van. Deputies got a call just before 11:30 p.m. about a van matching the same make and model, which rammed through Smash Fitness. The driver then ran away. K-9 Dundee and his handler searched for Naylor, who was found hiding in some nearby bushes.
The County Sheriff's Office. Let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Hands.
Let me see your hands.
Hands.
Turn them out.
What did he say? Ass?
Hands.
Oh.
I thank God no one was injured in this man's reckless crime spree, Sheriff Carmine Marcino said. I am beyond proud of the K-9 unit, which quickly tracked and located the suspect, taking him to the Marcino Motel, where he belongs. The Marcino Motel is what Sheriff Carmine Marcino infamously calls the Lee County Jail.
It's cute.
All those Florida sheriffs, they got their thing. A Whataburger customer in Georgia got a whole lot more than a burger and fries. He also got an unwanted side of identity theft and card fraud. The customer pulled into the drive-thru and handed over his card, expecting to pay for his meal. But instead, 25-year-old Alifa Sumter took it for a couple of minutes and disappeared. Later, he noticed a surprise charge. $400 sent straight to a local probation office. She paid a probation fine.
Oh, wow.
As investigators dug in, all signs pointed to Sumter, who was already on probation for a marijuana possession charge, and the stolen $400 went toward paying off her probation fines and fees.
How about that?
She never got a Whataburger with cheese, a Whataburger without cheese, a French fries, or a fresh catch fish sandwich.
I'm going down to Whataburger, and I'm going to get a Whataburger with cheese, a Whataburger without cheese, a French fries, a fresh catch fish sandwiches.
Sumter agreed to turn herself in on Friday, but never showed.
Investigators say she agreed to turn herself in 5 days ago, but she never did. Her family thinks she went to Florida because she had planned a trip there before she was charged.
Now investigators say the 25-year-old's gone silent, no longer answering their calls.
25 and your life is over.
But
making some bad calls there, yeah.
It all happened very quickly. She hands the dude or whoever hands the card to this gal to pay for his meal, and within a matter of minutes, she returns the card. Is that how it played out?
Yeah, he noticed she was gone a little longer than normal, but it was relatively quick. So obviously next card I get, I'm going to go do this.
What? That's, wow.
She was probably under a time constraint or something, right? pay the probation officer or, he comes looking for her kind of a thing.
I didn't know you could pay probation fines. I guess I didn't even know you were fined for probation, not knowing how it works.
No, yeah.
You can just pay with a credit card online?
I don't know that gimmick.
How convenient. For nearly 2 decades, a 65-year-old Fort Myers woman pulled off an unscrupulous scam, pretending to be her dead mother to pocket nearly $340,000 in Veterans Affairs benefits. The scheme started in 2005 when her mother died. Instead of notifying the VA, she kept the money flowing by forging signatures and filling out certificates as if nothing had changed. When questioned, she didn't just lie. She became her mother, even mimicking her voice over the phone to convince officials Mom was still alive. And it worked for 19 years. But last year, the VA caught on and cut off the payments. She insisted, however, her mother wasn't dead, telling agents during a home visit that she still lived with her, saw a doctor regularly, and was alive and in good health. But then the truth had already unraveled. She was charged with fraud, sentenced to 1 year in prison, and will have to pay back $338,000 that she stole.
That might take a while.
A funeral director in central Minnesota took a spirited service a little too literally when he showed up to pick up a body while wasted. The 63-year-old man was arrested for drunk driving after showing up at a home in Crosby Sunday night to retrieve a deceased individual. But instead of handling the solemn duty with grace, witnesses say he arrived looking like he might need a hearse ride of his own. He was dead drunk. Police were called about 9:30 p.m. after the family of the deceased noticed something was off, mainly that their funeral professional seemed professionally sloshed. Officers arrived to find the man with bloodshot, watery eyes, struggling to stay upright and reeking of booze. A breath test at the station confirmed their suspicions, registering a blood alcohol content of 0.19. Yikes. A frustrated family member later vented on Facebook, writing, "Our father deserved dignity and respect in his final moments. Instead, we were met with negligence and disgrace."
Crosby, huh?
Yep.
Nice town.
That would be, you're already quite distraught, and then something like that
Dude
happens.
shows up hammered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty disrespectful.
Yeah.
Crosby's better than that, Cubby.
They are. They didn't deserve this. A stretch of Highway 7 in Shorewood became a tragic hotspot last year, unfortunately. 5 fatal crashes. Now law enforcement is turning to cutting-edge technology in hopes of making the road safer. An AI-assisted camera is now scanning for speeders, distracted drivers on their phones, and those not wearing seatbelts.
Highway 7, you said, going through Shorewood?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it detects a violation, it snaps a photo and sends it to a nearby officer in just 5 seconds. From there, cops determine whether to initiate a traffic stop and issue a citation. And for night owl scofflaws thinking that they can get away with some sneaky late-night texting, think again.
Oh.
The camera uses infrared technology, so it sees just fine in the dark.
It is an important thing for Highway 7 because it wasn't designed for the kind of traffic that we see now. You have those high speeds with intersections. That's where you see the crash deaths. So we'd like to see that improved as well.
Officials emphasize it's not an automated ticketing system, so if you're not pulled over, your photo's erased within 15 minutes. Since going live on the 10th, the system has already led to about 60 citations.
Wow, F me running. Isn't that fancy schmancy?
Yeah, pretty high tech. They're getting high tech in Vegas, too. Las Vegas is about to see some futuristic power on the streets. The Metropolitan Police Department...
Robot cops?
No, not robots. Cybertrucks.
Not that cool.
Trucks?
They're adding a fleet of Tesla Cybertrucks to start patrolling the valley. The department is getting 10 of the Cybertrucks fully outfitted to serve as patrol and SWAT vehicles.
They're beautiful. More the better, I say. It looks like a more modern version of like an SUV. They look good.
Sheriff Kevin McNeil shared renderings of the trucks on his X account, calling them badass. And he's not wrong.
The cop inside is going to be safe no matter what. They'll stop bullets. And it did not impact our general budget.
We are the most technologically advanced police department in the country.
They do look really cool. It's the coolest looking Cybertruck I've ever seen. None of them come from the department's budget. An anonymous donor covered the cost. The announcement came during a speech where the sheriff unveiled other cutting-edge upgrades to the force, including semi-autonomous drones linked to shot-spotting technology.
You can see these on 93x.com. I think they look a little weird, like almost like scary. I don't know why. They give me scary vibes.
That's what I like about them. They do look badass, I think. I saw, this is probably old news to everyone here but me, but I saw a robot patrolling Sam's Club the other day.
Oh, no kidding?
Yeah.
What?
It was moving around and it was scanning, like doing inventory.
I've never seen that. That is so cool.
Oh, I thought maybe I was late to the party.
No, hell no. I've never seen a robot at Sam's Club.
Oh, neat.
Well, like, can you describe it? The little...
It kind of looked like almost, a lift. Like at Home Depot or something? Where
Yeah.
they have the lift to go grab your... whatever's up high.
Whatever the hell.
It
Yeah.
kind of looked like that, just skating around by itself, and it had these scanners on it, and it said on the side it was scanning inventory.
Cool. Wow. I would have taken that chance to try to be friends with it.
Take a quick selfie with the robot.
Hey, I'm a good person, so when you guys inevitably take over the world, I'm good. I'm safe.
Good call. I never even considered that. I just got out of its way.
Ashley's robot pal.
The historical drama about David, the king of ancient Israel and Judah, House of David, premieres on Prime Video today. The series follows the once mighty King Saul, who falls victim to his own pride. As an outcast shepherd boy, David is anointed as the king. Then on Netflix, the series premiere of Running Point, starring Kate Hudson and Justin Theroux. A reformed party girl is forced to prove herself as a businesswoman put in charge of her family's professional basketball team. Best of luck to Bomb Dog Canine Handler Jesus taking his Class A CDL driving test today.
Bomb Dog?
Yep. Happy birthday to El Leon Loco Jesus, turning the big 04 from Dad. Elbow deep in your toilet, Jesus. And show your boobs, win a balloon, Jesus, texting a happy birthday wish to his smoking hot wife. And that's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
Big time onions. Goodness.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Good breaking ball just misses. Brett Sullivan get a challenge.
Ball call.
Brett has been expert at the ABS system. Ooh.
The call is surprisingly correct. 3.
Oh, we told you. Mike Malinsky, one of our favorites.
Oh, man. All right, now this is a hell of a deal. I'm very interested in this. We got to ask Randy Shaver. He's fresh off a spring training ball game from yesterday, right, Randy Shaver?
That is correct.
Hello, Randy.
Hello.
It looked so beautiful.
Yeah, I was pretty jealous,
gorgeous.
Randy.
What happened? What are we talking about?
I saw some pictures that he posted from the spring training, and it just looked like such a good time.
What did you do yesterday? Tell us everything about it, Randy.
Went to watch the Twins play the Tigers in Lakeland, Florida. There's really no other reason to go to Lakeland, to be honest with you.
You've probably found a lot of Florida towns in the last couple of months where there's really no obvious reason behind it.
Lakeland's number one on the list.
Okay.
The ballpark is beautiful, but it was only 3/4 full. So if you wanted a ticket yesterday, it would have been easy to get one.
What do they want? What do they want for a ticket to walk in and watch a bunch of JV guys?
I think I paid $30 each.
Okay.
And we sat 5 rows off of first base.
Oh,
Great
good.
seats. Yeah.
Did you wear your Twins gear? Did you make it obvious that you were a Minnesotan?
No, I didn't bring any Twins gear with me. So,
Okay.
Well, the pictures he posted, he wasn't even wearing a shirt.
I was too. But thank you anyway. No, it was beautiful, and I was excited because you guys told me yesterday Skubal was pitching, and so I got to see Tarek Skubal pitch for 2 innings.
You were swinging from his jock all of last baseball season. You loved this kid.
The guy's a monster. He's a big kid. He's, I don't know what he is, 6'4", maybe 230, 240. Wow. But, man, I tell you, when he throws the baseball, it's lights out. It's he was really good. Fun to watch.
Was it mostly JV guys, or did you get to see?
It was.
Yeah.
For the Twins, for sure, because it's a 2-hour plus bus ride. I mean, Rocco was there. He did manage the team. But, Brooksley played yesterday.
Okay.
Miranda, played yesterday.
Wallner?
Julian played yesterday. I didn't recognize, the only pitcher that I recognized was the left-hander Funderburk.
Sure. But a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. You enjoyed yourself.
It's gorgeous. It was gorgeous. It was great.
I want to get back to the audio that Josh played us in the intro.
They used the ABS there.
Okay. I haven't been paying one single bit of attention to this new,
and nor should you.
The new setup they have for calling balls and strikes in spring training, because it's not going to be a factor in the big leagues this year, so I don't care. And I'm not a big fan of, as you guys know, any kind of replay. What I did not realize until Josh played that audio for us is the pitcher in that particular situation, pitcher throws the baseball, umpire calls it a ball. The pitcher then challenges that call. The umpire gets on a microphone. I didn't know that part, like in football and basketball and hockey, and announces that the pitcher has challenged a call. That's the first I've heard it. I hate it. But did you see any of that yesterday?
Yes, it did. There's probably, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 calls yesterday. And once the game is stopped briefly, it takes about 10 seconds. Mm-hmm. And what they do is, there's no mystery. They put the ABS right up on the scoreboard.
All right.
So that everybody in the stadium can see whether it's a ball or a strike,
right,
according to the ABS. And that's how the umpires judge it too.
What do you think of it?
It was okay. I mean, I was a little confused as to, if you're not paying attention, it happens pretty quick. So I guess I didn't feel like it was interfering in the game.
All right.
And if you, I don't know the exact rules, but I think you get 2 challenges as a team from the pitching perspective and the hitting perspective.
2 each.
2 each. And if you lose one, you lose it. If you win it, you continue with the challenges.
So how...
I don't know if I like this.
The manager better be the one who makes that call, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
players will get out of control with it right away, and you'll spoil both of them in the first inning because players are so sensitive and they think they're always right.
Right. Once you get to the major leagues, I think it could be used as a strategy to some extent, but
that's so silly.
I'm also sure that there's certain umpires whose strike zones are regarded as looser than others. Mm-hmm. And so when a certain umpire is behind the plate, you're probably more apt to try to use the ABS and probably save it until a crucial situation.
Right.
As opposed to nobody on base and
third inning.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
but anyway, no, it was good.
I'm glad you had a good time. As far as the challenging calls, balls and strikes in baseball, I don't like it. Like all of the other replays and challenges, right. I'll eventually have to get used to it someday.
Baseball doesn't need that, I think.
It doesn't. But they've already got replay for base running in the majors. So that's already there. I will say in defense of this, it is quick because they pop it up on the screen. There's no mystery. They're not like 4 umpires looking at it on a monitor. As soon as it's called, they put it up on the big screen.
Now here's a listener
so that everybody can see.
Yeah, in the audio that Josh played, you could hear the crowd go, "Oh!" When they walk.
Yep.
So here's a listener that says, if you challenge a call and you're incorrect, you sit in the penalty box for 2 minutes and you feel shame. No, really, a listener texted in and said only the hitter, pitcher, and catcher can challenge. The manager.
That is correct. That is correct.
The manager cannot challenge.
No, the manager can't, but I'm sure that there's some...
Oh, I thought you said it's up to the manager.
No, it's it can be, though.
It can
All the manager has to do is...
Signal.
The catcher looks at the manager like, I think that was... You know what I mean?
Oh, so they kind of look to the manager.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm not so sure.
Well, whatever.
Because I agree with you, Nick. Otherwise, it can get really out of control.
Well, yeah, look at how many NBA players constantly want a replay when they're called for a foul or they believe they're fouled. And the coach has to say, no, dude, it's the first quarter, for Christ's sake. We're not using it.
It's a little different, though, because from the perspective from the dugout, sometimes it's hard to tell if that was a strike or a ball, right?
Yeah.
So you almost have to rely on the hitter at the plate. I just think that the situation's going to dictate when you use it and when you don't.
Yeah, I'm thankful that it's not a real thing yet in the big leagues, but it's coming. It's coming.
Yep.
Speaking of pitchers, Twins closer Joan Duran apparently has a new pitch. Last year was tough for the young feller. Didn't have the greatest season. He had an oblique strain that bothered him all season. His velocity wasn't where it should be. They say he's back to full health. He used the offseason to develop another weapon, another pitch, a changeup or something. He's keeping it on the down low for now. He said, right now, I'm playing with the baseball a little bit. I'm trying out a new pitch, but I can't tell you what it is. Not right now, he says.
That's exciting.
Well,
yeah.
A guy that throws 104, if he can develop a changeup and be effective, that's a hell of a pitch.
That's the rumor. He's got the fastball. He's got the splinker. He's got the curve. And the rumor is it's a changeup, and you're right. If he can control it, that should be quite effective. And this article talks about with he and Griffin Jacks, the Twins bullpen, again, promises to be...
Should be decent.
Decent with those two guys and some others. They picked up a Danny Colomb, whatever the hell his name was, the guy that was here a few years ago.
The left-hander.
Yeah, if Duran can come up with a sneaky changeup, I mean... My damn, guys will be so far out front of that sumbitch, they won't know what hit them.
I heard he's calling it the Terminator, and if you get a piece of it, you can rename it.
The Terminator?
Is that true?
It's a Major League reference.
Oh, you got me excited.
Major League from 1988 Cleveland Indians?
Yeah,
maybe?
Charlie Sheen.
I don't recall that.
Might have been Major League 2.
Pardon me?
Might have been Major League 2.
Okay, I'll have to go along with it.
Never saw that one.
A 17-year-old prospect with the best name in big league baseball, according to this article, made his spring training debut yesterday for the Milwaukee Brewers. The kid's name is Jesus Made. They're calling it the best name in big league baseball. Jesus.
Probably Jesus, but yes.
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's Jesus.
I think it's Jesus.
That would be really strange if his parents named him Jesus.
Well, Jesus is pretty popular.
No, if it was like actually said like that, though.
Well, why would it be the best name in baseball if it was Jesus Made? There's nothing interesting about Jesus Made. If it's Jesus Made, then it's interesting.
Just looking at it.
The youngest prospect, they say this kid is the youngest prospect in whatever this is, Baseball America's top 100 players list.
Yep.
And he's all the way up to the 17th best ranked player. How does a grown person say that? He's the 17th best player according to that Baseball America's top 100 players list, and he's only 17 years old. He's capable of playing 3 positions in the infield. Last season in the Dominican Summer League, he batted .331 with 28 stolen bases in just 51 total games, and he is a switch hitter. I saw a photo with a guy, skinny as a rail, but he's 17.
Of course.
Randy, we were wondering yesterday, we never got around to asking you about it. Have you and the wife made any plans is how you say it. Have you and the wife made any plans to hit the Florida Man Games?
The Florida Man Games. I'm not sure I know what that is.
It's a hell of a deal is what it is. I wish I had the article in my hand from yesterday. You never heard of the Florida Man Games. This is the second year they're going to cut loose with this. It's like a Florida version of the Olympics, and they base all of their contests on how many drugged up derelicts run through the streets of Florida 24 hours a day. There's events like, what do they do, Josh? Running from the cops while carrying a catalytic converter.
Yep, they pretend they stole that or some copper.
Pool noodle fights in mud.
Yep, you get in the mud, you pool noodle fight, you wrestle each other in a sumo suit, and if you spill your beer, you lose. What am I forgetting from yesterday?
The alligator one where they throw fake alligators at each other.
You try to throw an alligator. You try to throw a fake alligator, through a drive-through window.
Okay.
All this time you've been in Florida, have you had that Florida Man experience yet? Have you?
I have not.
Have you seen anyone that looks shady? Have you had a physical encounter?
There's a lot of people here that look shady.
Have Have you had a physical encounter on the street at 2, 3 in the morning with a Floridian?
Well, I'm not out on the street at 2 or 3 in the morning.
Have you seen a baby on the street corner dealing weed?
No.
I'm dealing weed, he said.
Wow. No.
Baby, what are you doing on the corner?
Hey, baby, what you doing on the street at 2 o'clock in the morning? Dealing weed.
Did you guys mention the human beer pong?
No, I don't remember that from you. Human beer pong. I must have missed that.
They're like those big bubbles that you can run around in.
Oh yeah. Sure.
So they have that, and then kiddie pools filled with beer.
Oh man.
People like bounce each other in there or something. I don't know.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah.
I don't see you and Roseanne attending those events.
No.
But you haven't even heard of it in the time you've been down? I'm surprised by that.
I have not heard of it. No.
And it is kind of surprising that so far. I mean, you had that terrible story with your granddaughter, but that could have happened anywhere. So far, you and your wife have gone unscathed after spending this much time in Florida.
It's impressive.
Well, Daytona was a disaster.
That's true.
Yep.
But
you could have had that problem at a track here in town.
Not like that. I don't think.
I wonder if you would have stayed there longer, you would have had a true Florida man experience.
Well, he's still there.
Still there?
No, I mean at Daytona.
Oh,
yeah, with that much drinking going on during the rain delays and stuff, you would have seen some things.
God. Oh, I did see some things, but it was so damn cold by the time we walked out of there that I wasn't going to stick around much longer.
I just looked up how long it would take you to get to the Florida Man games, Randy. 2 hours. Yeah, I'd imagine.
Where's it? Fort Myers?
Elkton? Is that
south?
North.
North of Orlando?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's up by Jacksonville, up that end.
Elkton.
It looks like it's
Tallahassee?
Like around Gainesville, pretty far to the east of Gainesville.
University of Florida. Yep, gotcha.
All right. Well, let us know if you see any newspaper articles or.
I haven't read a newspaper or watched TV basically since I've been here. So
it happens this Saturday. Am I right about that, Josh?
Oh.
Yeah. The Florida Man games kick in up there in Elkton this Saturday. Okay, well, here's a question from a listener. In all your travels down there for the last 2 months, what city do you recommend a Minnesotan visit? In Florida, is there one town that you've said, okay, this is something that everyone should see, or do those towns not exist in Florida?
I'm not so sure those towns exist. I
didn't think so.
We went to lunch and walked around in a place called Celebration, which is near Kissimmee. It's about 20 minutes from where we're staying. It was nice. But I mean, I got to be honest. I'm not a super big fan of. I love the weather, obviously, but man, to try to get around here, it's a pain in the butt. The traffic is so bad. It's just, it's not fun.
Tell them about traffic, Josh. Do it.
Well, I know what you like to see. Ford Maverick. There's some chapstick involved.
Feeling kind of car sick.
Have you run into a lot of Minnesotans?
I have not, actually, to be honest with you. I did see, obviously, some yesterday at the Twins game.
Sure.
Did you tell by their
they are
pasty, unhealthy appearance?
That and the Twins gear they were wearing.
Yes.
I've been there twice, and I couldn't believe how many Minnesotans I ran into.
Well, there are more, to be honest with you, Josh, there's probably more of them in the Fort Myers, Naples area than there is up here.
Is that right?
We went down to Fort Myers a couple weeks ago to see some friends, and there were a lot of Minnesotans down there. So
I'll tell you what, when I went to Costa Rica, you want to see a lot of Midwesterners. I guess we're quite drawn to Costa Rica because when I went there and walked around, everybody on the street is wearing a Minnesota, Michigan, or, well, I guess I have to include Canadians. There were a lot of Canadians there, too.
Yeah.
Everyone was wearing their Golden Gopher, University of Michigan, or Toronto Maple Leaf friggin' T-shirt. It was crazy down there.
There are a lot of Michigan people in this area.
See,
that I have seen.
They're not trustworthy either.
Yeah, I'm staying away from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like the look of them.
I don't like the look of you.
I don't like the look of them. I just don't.
The listener has texted in looking for a shout-out to the state high school wrestling tournament that starts this morning at 9 a.m., according to this listener. They said if it was hockey, you'd be wetting yourself. Show wrestling some love. Look, I don't need the attitude, but I'm happy to mention that the high school...
I love the state wrestling meet. Used to cover it. I used to go there to each session for many years when I was doing sports at CARE. Love the wrestling meet.
My brother's kid made the state wrestling tournament a few years ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
I loved it a lot at the old Civic Center.
Yeah.
The old Civic Center, there was a lot of room to be able to maneuver during the state wrestling tournament.
The Civic Center was a spacious place overall.
Yeah, you could get around on the floor. You could maneuver between mats way easier than how the X is set up. It's just not quite the same. But
maybe I'm wrong, but I always thought that the old Civic Center was the concourses and the hallways were wide, and it just seemed like
No, I agree.
But it smelled bad in there 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. I mean,
I think the circus came to town in 1979, and they were never able to get the smell out of the place.
It was the perfect venue, though, for the state wrestling meet, in my opinion.
Never had a cold beer there either. Never had a cold beer.
Warm, right?
Yeah. It was always warm. And that Dominique Wilkins, Josh.
Same thing.
Warm beer. All right, this is hilarious. We were just talking about this kind of thing a day or two ago. You know, we had heard some rumors. And here's an article from a website called Bro Bible with a couple more specifics for us. It says here the Dallas Mavericks had an issue with, by the way, the Wolves and Lakers play tonight in the middle of the night. No one's going to see it. It starts at 10:45 or something.
Might as well not even happen.
The Dallas Mavericks had an issue with lazy Luka Doncic's drinking and smoking habits and predicted that he was, quote, headed for catastrophe in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I read that too.
He's overweight, he drinks, and he pulls heaters, too. Maybe I'm going to like this guy after all.
Honestly, the more I learn about his drinking and smoking situation, I like him.
Yeah, he loves the Hooka Doncic, they're calling him.
Catastrophe is the word they use. That's pretty dramatic.
Yeah, wow.
Well, I mean, to invest that kind of money and to see it go up in smoke, more or less, I can understand why they would be interested or anxious to trade him. So
now, none of this is brand new to anybody, except for me personally. I didn't know he was a smoker. And they say he, you guys have already dumped the word on us twice now. The new nickname is Hooka Doncic, and that's very funny. It says here the Mavericks had issues with Doncic smoking something called hookah tobacco. I don't know what that is. I mean, I've heard it. What's the difference between smoking a cigarette and smoking hookah tobacco?
A hookah is like a larger apparatus. It's about this, 2 feet tall.
It's an octopus.
And it has multiple cords that come out of it.
Oh, okay.
That you can sit around in a circle. It's a social thing.
We've got a hookah bar by my house.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
I've heard of it,
because he smokes hookah, I wouldn't call him a smoker.
Why not?
Because a true smoker smokes like cigarettes or electronic cigarettes. They don't. Everybody kind of, especially with me growing up and the people I grew up with, everybody kind of had a hookah stage where you'd sit around and, just every once in a while, maybe you'd take a hit or two.
So it's like a trendy, hip thing maybe that young people try now and again. It's not a long-standing habit like, say, chewing tobacco or cigarettes.
Yes.
You smoke shisha out of it.
Shisha.
That was kind of a trend for a little bit, wasn't it? And maybe it's not as...
I burned my hands horribly on one in high school.
That's easy to do.
The coal gets hot.
Even my older aunts and uncles got involved in that for a little bit.
I've never been within 100 miles of whatever hookah is. Is it as damaging as regular cigarettes?
Some people are saying it's worse.
Some are saying it's worse.
People are texting and saying it's worse.
All I know is that it used to give me a crazy headache.
Yeah.
The Mavericks didn't like all the hookah tobacco this kid was sucking down. And, of course, we've heard this before, he was drinking too much beer. They say these are bad habits he's had since he was 19 years old. And, again, maybe I need to reconsider my feelings for baby nuts. The reason I started to hate his guts a couple years ago was his constant complaining to the officials. I think it was last year when I said he was straight up unwatchable. But maybe I was blinded by rage. He's just one of us. He drinks and smokes too much, and he's packing on weight like a damn slob. If only he didn't play for the Lakers. Maybe I've been wrong all along, Josh, on Hooka Doncic.
Here's the thing. He landed in a great place. L.A. is so safe. It is so conservative. He'll never have those issues in L.A.
They'll never go after him for drinking?
No, I'm just kidding. God, it's like the worst place he could end up.
Yeah, that or, like Vegas or something if he was out there someplace.
Exactly.
Oh, because of the high profile.
Just all everything going on around them.
I'm sorry. Yeah, they got a spotlight on him 24/7.
I mean, it's not like he landed in Utah.
You would have been screwed.
Yeah.
Drinking 3-2 beer.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I hear you. People are texting in what they know about hookah. There's a lot of these things that they just never entered my world.
We used to put a little bit of weed in our hookah.
There
a little bit of weed in everything.
Now the truth comes out.
You kind of mix them together.
I never liked that.
I'm going to have some Cheerios. I'm going to mix in a little bit of weed, too, with my Cheerios.
Yeah.
Me and my pals, we were certainly into drinking, smoking, some marijuana cigarettes, chewing tobacco. I could never picture me and my friends sitting in a circle around some octopus-shaped things and we're all taking hits off. I can never picture that happening.
Pipe Fitter Jesus texted in, and this is a good comparison. Smoking hookah is kind of like going to a cigar bar. So it's not something you do every
I don't miss
single
those
day.
friggin' places. Remember that? Remember, Josh, when that took off for about a month? The coolest thing on planet Earth was to go to a cigar bar, and everyone went there for an hour and were sickened, and then they started. That
was so popular. Like that
No
swing
way.
dancing for a while.
It was like line dancing and swing dancing. Everybody was involved in it for 30 days, and then everyone walked away and said, that was a dumb idea.
Josh, did you ever do the cigar bar?
No.
Oh, that would have been so cool.
I mean, I went into a few of them not knowing what I had walked into.
I'd smell like it for the rest of the month.
I mean, it was men, women.
Sure.
It seemed like, when we used to have a huge staff here, that's where everybody would go after work, the cigar bar for a while, if it wasn't swing dancing.
Yeah, right. It's been predicted, Randy Shaver, by, the quote, experts, that the Los Angeles Lakers will steal Naz Reid away from the Timberwolves in free agency this offseason so they can start him alongside LeBron James. I'll tell you this right now, they're going to have to go through me.
That would hurt a lot of the people that got Naz Reid tattoos.
For sure.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I'm the one who brought him to town here in the first place. They're going to have to go through me. It's been rumored that Naz might want out of Minnesota.
I was going to ask you about that.
First time I've heard that.
Yeah, I'd never heard that either.
Maybe he wants to start.
Pardon me?
I think that's coming. I think I don't think that Rudy Gobert is long for Timberwolves.
Really?
I don't think. I just don't think he's in there.
Didn't they sign him to a 44-year contract or something?
A long-term.
Isn't Rudy signed up forever?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought it was forever.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything forever in the NBA.
Well, of course not. But what I'm wondering about is, how they'd have to continue to pay him until the day that he dies.
Well, that might be the issue for Naz, is that there are too many big contracts on the team right now, and that maybe there's not the kind of money there that he can make maybe more money somewhere.
Yeah, I would be heartbroken. The article says here.
It's business, man.
Of course it is,
business.
but some people are special.
Gobert's on a 3-year contract.
I
felt a lot deeper than that when they first came up with that idea.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's because they gave up all their draft picks from now till 2030 to get him.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the draft pick.
Gave him to Oklahoma City.
Says here, between the two teams, the Lakers and the Timberwolves, the Lakers are probably the better fit for Naz, and they'll find a way to get him on their team.
No, I hope not.
Now, the experts have also made Timberwolves predictions. They'll make a deal for Brooklyn Nets forward Cameron Johnson this offseason.
Nope.
In exchange for Julius Randle.
No. God, please.
Why do you say no?
Cameron Johnson's hurt as much as Randle is.
Oh, is he?
I'm not a fan.
Well, then F that idea.
How about the Pistons last night? I know you don't follow the NBA as close, but they've won They've won 8 games in a row.
Yeah,
and they beat the Celtics last night by 20.
Damn.
Malik Beasley was the star of the game.
Mm-hmm.
He played 22 minutes. He scored 26 points.
They have this much I know about the Pistons. They've been hot lately. They're in the 5th or 6th spot in the Eastern Conference.
They're in the 6th spot. Yeah,
good for them.
Great.
Good for them. They've got
and
that.
They're young.
Who's the all-star player that stands out?
Cunningham. Cade Cunningham. Yeah. He's really good. But they're young.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim Hardaway's
Josh
like 55. But
that's not true.
Tim Hardaway Jr., should you just claim he's 55 years old?
Yeah, he's like 55. But, I mean, other than that, they're pretty young.
How old is Tim Hardaway Sr. at this
30,
point, for Christ's sake?
He's like 75.
No, I'm happy for the Detroit Pistons. Anyone who beats Boston is a friend of mine. So
yeah.
Remember that tennis shoe ad that Tim Hardaway Sr. did back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Remember the his little catchphrase? It was a dramatic commercial, and he's dribbling and he's shooting three-pointers. This is back when he was playing for the Miami Heat back in the early 90s, and he's doing fancy layups, and then they show his obnoxious-looking tennis shoe that was for sale at the time, and then they cut to Tim Hardaway, and he says this: "I got skills."
Skills.
Is that
where Randy Moss? Is that where Randy Moss?
That's where Randy Moss got it. He looked dead into the camera. See if maybe you can find it on YouTube. He says, with the lateral S, "I got skills." The Pigs are at Utah tonight at 8 o'clock.
Sad basketball note before you get off
sad
of basketball.
note.
Yeah, Norman Dale died yesterday.
You talking about Gene Hackman?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Gene's passing a little bit
Norman
earlier.
Dale.
You love the movie Hoosiers.
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh,
me too.
I will watch it start to finish, and I've probably seen it 25 times.
I thought it was kind of boring.
No, it's a great movie.
I like the final game they play against the City Kids, but overall I thought it was kind of boring.
I might have that commercial. Hopefully
What?
It's the right one.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Let's see.
I'm Spike. This is my house. And these are my air raid sneakers. Tim Hardaway's going to show us how to shoot when the wind's up. I got skills.
Dude! I got skills. You got it. That's brilliant on your part. And so Spike Lee was involved, and was that Spike Lee?
Yeah, it was Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm sorry. We're all sorry about the passing of Gene Hackman. He was an absolutely terrific actor.
So many good movies, so many great characters.
95 years old. The rumor is it could have been carbon monoxide poisoning.
Yeah, because his wife died too.
And the dog. Yeah, the dog.
Yeah,
Forget
that's
about
too
the
bad.
dog. What the hell? 95.
Oh, that's too bad.
When you're 95, you should just go out.
You shouldn't be. Yeah, you shouldn't be going out that way.
No.
That's too bad.
What about the Unforgiven Randy Shaver when he plays Little Bill? Please don't say it.
I'm not going to say anything.
How do you not see The Unforgiven as a grown man, an American? You don't want to talk about it?
You guys would all love it. Anybody who hasn't seen it, you'd love it. Mm-hmm. People are telling me that I should see The Quick and the Dead. I have not watched that yet.
Never saw it.
That's a very good one, too.
We've been getting a lot of texts on that one.
For those that are interested, it looks like Unforgiven is on Amazon Prime if you want to go ahead and pull that one up today.
Perfect.
We look up The Quick and the Dead?
Quick and the Dead, yes.
It's on Hulu.
God's
Hulu?
sake.
Nice.
Grown man with a wife, grown children, retired, and you haven't seen Unforgiven.
Oh, Leo's in The Quick and the Dead.
I will not be forgiving you for that. Randy Shaver. Leo, who's Leo?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
He's in the movie Quick plus the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
And Russell's
Oh,
Crowe.
all right. I'm in.
Crow too, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Western, so I should have seen. I should have watched that already. But
I'm kind of shocked about that you haven't seen it.
I love Westerns.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about. It's one of those that just always escaped me. Well, sir, you are a cowardly son of a bitch. You just shot an unarmed man. Well, he should have armed himself if he's going to decorate his saloon with my friend.
A lot of people texting in on Enemy of the State as well. We mentioned that one earlier. I really enjoyed that.
That was a good movie.
Well, here we go. What is this now? I said the Pigs are playing at Utah. 8 o'clock tonight. For whatever reason, someone was obsessing over how many hat tricks Alexander Ovechkin has claimed in his career, as he cruises closer and closer to Wayne Gretzky's record. You want to take a guess, anybody? How many hat tricks has Alexander Ovechkin come up with in his long, miserable career?
25.
I don't know.
30. I'm sorry, Randy's guess was 100 hat tricks.
100.
300 goals worth of hat tricks.
27. I like that number.
32.
I almost said 31.
And he's tied with Phil Esposito at 32 hat tricks. Of course, Wayne Gretzky holds the all-time record. That scrawny sumbitch came up with 50 of them.
Has Gretzky said anything about how he feels about Ovechkin eventually passing the record?
He has, but we can't understand him through all the plastic surgery.
God, come on.
He looks ridiculous. Mario Lemieux had 40 of them. Mike Bossy, 39. Brett Hull, 33, as I'm going down the all-time list of NHL career hat tricks. Marcel Dion, Bobby Hull, Rocket Richard, some dude from 1866, Yari Curry, Teemu Selanne, Glenn Anderson. He wore a mustache his whole career, and I hated him for it. I don't know why. His mustache aggravated me. Glenn Anderson. Oh, it aggravated me. Pavel Bure. Now, Wayne Gretzky once did say, this is one of his famous lines, Randy Shaver, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Correct.
Right?
I thought Michael Scott said that.
I love you.
I don't know who Michael Scott is. Ovechkin certainly has followed that theory. He's put more shots on goal than anyone in NHL history. He has the most power play goals, the most game-winning goals. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, Wayne Gretzky said. I think another famous line from Gretzky was when he told one of his teammates, in 1982 or something, he said, don't worry about what you can't do. Worry about what you can.
I like that.
Wise man.
But, I mean, look at the guy now. What are you doing?
It is pretty bad.
He's got to keep up with his wife and daughter.
I wish he would just.
True.
He should have just aged
True.
gracefully.
They're well put together.
He wouldn't look bad if he didn't have it. I bet he'd look okay.
He was when he retired, he still looked 25.
Yeah, he's a handsome man. A lot of hair.
That's not his.
Oh.
Somewhere a pony is depressed. Because Gretzky took his hair. Like Brett Michaels.
Come on, Brett. We know you're bald. Just admit it.
Oh, my God. Will you take off the cowboy hat and the bandana and the wig and just do it once, for Christ's sake? All right, Randy Shaver. The Minnesota Vikings. They finished near the top of the NFL Players Association yearly survey, where players can anonymously mention how much their GM sucks, or if the food sucks, or if the toilets are always clogged in the locker room, or whatever is on there.
Exactly.
It would be funny if that was the chief complaint. The toilets are always clogged.
The Vikings always finish near the top of this silly survey, these little report cards, so to speak.
They probably wouldn't have back in the Winter Park days.
No, probably not when they had the old Metrodome and the Winter Park set up there.
Oh, not Winter Park. I don't think they did surveys back then.
No, that's probably a good thing.
They didn't want anybody to know.
That's right. If they did, that would have been a trouble.
The Vikings finished second overall. Well, yeah, they're used to being runner-up.
Oh, come on.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Come on.
The only club that had a better overall rating was the Miami Dolphins. And, I mean, my goodness, they touch on all different kinds of categories. Treatment of families, quality of the coaching staff, nutrition and food options, and all this silliness.
But it's in Miami.
Pardon me?
But it's in Miami.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the players don't stay in Miami. They live in Atlanta or something.
I bet the guys.
I bet the players love living in Miami.
Yeah.
They hate it. They hate Miami.
I bet they like that.
No, there's women everywhere. Yeah, I'm sure they love that part of it. No one wears any clothes in Miami. So the Vikings are just the happiest sumbitches in town. But how about the bad reviews? That's way more fun to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
The Bills got smoked.
Well, I didn't notice the Bills.
Yeah, but the Jets are
Jets,
worse.
Yeah, the Jets got it bad too.
Oh, I don't have the overall rankings in front of me.
Oh,
I just picked
man.
apart some things that stood out. So the Buffalo Bills did not rank high overall.
No, they got a couple Fs in like traveling and things like that.
The New York Jets. I saw that their owner was rated the worst owner in the league.
It was like
Dang.
unanimous.
That would make me feel so sad.
Oh, he's a billionaire.
Yeah, I was just about to say, but then I'd look at my bank account and everything would be okay.
These are the results that stood out to me. The Patriots team plane, I guess, is garbage. The New England Patriots travel on an old plane that still has ashtrays in the seats.
That's cool. They probably don't even have screens.
I bet a lot of the old timers who used to fly commercial back in the day are looking at this survey and like, are you kidding me? You're complaining about your private jet?
Well, but really, I mean, when's the last time they allowed smoking on an airplane? 1980? And they still have one of those damn pigs flying around? That would make me nervous as hell. Get us a real airplane around here. You got all the money in the world.
Yeah, he spends it all on massages down in Florida, Robert Kraft.
Dude, smoking wasn't banned on planes until 2000.
Oh, got it.
Oh, wow.
Feels like a lot. Well, I suppose I should have known that. Well, maybe I didn't think it was 2000. I know my dad went to Hawaii to see Pearl Harbor in 1991 or something, and he complained about how they wouldn't let him have a cigarette on the way.
Okay, this is actually great. It says that there was a ban, like a semi-ban in 1990, but the pilots were still allowed to smoke because they were worried about the pilots having nicotine withdrawal and there being potential flight risk.
Yeah.
Sure, give the
That's
pilots.
hilarious.
Hey, give the pilots whatever they want to keep them happy.
Yeah, you don't want them having a Nick fit when you're over the Atlantic or something.
That is great.
This is kind of surprising that the New Orleans Saints got the worst grade in the NFL for their food. How can the food suck in a city like New Orleans where everything there is just glorious?
That poor chef.
The food sucks in New Orleans. That's a shame. But the bottom of the barrel, I guess, they've done this for 3 years. The bottom of the barrel, again, is the Arizona Cardinals, which surprises me. They've got a beautiful ballpark there. I'm trying to find, was there something specific about...
I don't think a lot of people like Bidwell. I think the owner has got a terrible reputation.
Okay. And Kevin Stefanski of the Browns, Doug Peterson, who used to coach the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, two of the three got fired.
Yeah, Matt Eberflus, who used to coach the Bears, they were selected as the worst-rated coaches in the NFL. Stefanski, Peterson, Eberflus, whatever. Yeah, you're right. Two of those guys have been gassed. Stefanski is still hanging around the Browns. Oh, by the way, the Cardinals, there's a comment from the Cardinals on them finishing last overall as far as the players, how the players think of their organization. The Cardinals said, quote, they're working on it.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, there are teams that have taken this stuff to heart and have changed a lot of their, have upgraded their facilities and have done some things because of this survey. So the survey has proven to spark change in certain franchises, but the Jets don't care. So
back to the Vikings and toilets. Here's a hell of a situation from Dodging Human Turds Jesus. I remember being at the state fair waiting for a stall to open up, and David Dixon comes out. Yep. Clogged, moved on to another one. If you remember David Dixon, he was a very, very large man.
Yes, he was.
He was. He pumped a turd and shut the whole works down. Well, that's something. Randy Shaver, when you come back from Florida, will you go over to Ashley's place and the two of you watch Unforgiven?
No, let's do it.
I think I've seen Unforgiven. I just don't remember it.
You be William Money out of Missouri.
I looked it up as you were talking about it, and it does look familiar. So I probably did see it. I just don't remember.
You better bury Ned right. Better not cut up nor otherwise harm no whores, or I'll come back and kill every one of you sons of bitches, he says. Well, Eastwood says, not Gene Hackman, but he was there at the time, so it's close enough. All right, Randy, go ahead. So what's your plans for today? Yesterday you had a big day at the ball game. Are you going to lay low today?
Today we're kind of laying low. What's that?
You don't want to know.
Probably better you missed it.
Did you say 6?
I always tell Josh how many seconds we have until the break is over. 5.
No, nothing good today. I think I'm going to jump in the pool today. That was my plan.
Nice.
Get a nap, jump in the pool. Awesome. Don't wear sweats.
Oh, I don't wear sweats.
In the pool. That shows everything. I found that out many years ago. I jumped in the pool. Why
in the world would you jump in the pool?
We were just young and drunk, and we jumped into pools when we had parties. I had a friend who had a pool. What do you mean, why? I was probably 20 years old. You jump in a pool when there's a pool around, and it showed everything.
Oh, that makes me uncomfortable. It's like wet socks.
Yeah, it was uncomfortable.
Oh, I bet.
I just took everything off.
Just clings to you.
Yeah, forget that.
Oh, God.
See you later, Randy Shaver.
See ya.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll be back in a few minutes.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They got their heads up their ass.
On 93X.
Dana here to tell you all about my new friends at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. You see, I've been doing apartment living ever since my parents kicked me out back in the day, but now I'm back living in a house. I'm absolutely clueless when it comes to any project. That's where Standard comes into play. They cranked on my furnace to get it really cooking for another cold winter. And think about this. Standard's been doing this for over 95 years. That means at one point, they made sure your great-grandpappy was all nice and warm in his butt-flap jammies. So get in touch with the folks at standardheating.com and make sure you ask about becoming a Smart Club member. That's standardheating.com.
Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.
The Mic Drop, hosted by former Navy SEAL Mike Ridlin. It's raw.
Any single time that you left the wire, you could lose 4 guys.
It's unfiltered.
That was the most horrible screaming I'd ever heard. Taking a hit on the chin, you want to pay it back?
It's tough talk from the top minds in their field.
Would I choose to not do our duty as military fighting men? No, I would not make that decision, without question.
The Mic Drop. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
Put the candle back.
On 93X.
I'll tell you, it's been a hell of a deal so far, and we're not quite done yet. Welcome back to the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show as we check in at 8:29. 8:30, just turned 8:30 on my
That's always exciting.
Computer. Josh and I were just talking off of air. He's nervous today, even more nervous than usual, because later this afternoon, we've all been invited to join the big boss of the company. We've all been invited to join the big boss as part of one of those Zoom meetings. So it'll be us on the computer screen. You guys know how this gimmick works. Our tired-looking mugs. And then the big boss. And she wants to jaw jack with us for an undetermined stretch of time. And Josh, you were looking for help from our listening audience on this deal. Explain what you're looking for.
Yeah, I was hoping someone could help. And what makes me nervous is not talking to her. It's that she wants people to tell her something she needs to know, right? And I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm not going to say, oh, there's a lot of stains on the carpet. She's the biggest boss. She has nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Every meeting, she likes to throw that question out.
Yeah, because she wants to know.
Is there something you need to tell me? Is there something I should know?
Yes, that's kind of what she asked.
Copyright Duran Duran, 1985.
And you guys might remember the last couple of times it was so awkward.
Oh, it was so uncomfortable.
It was so quiet.
Nobody wanted to say anything. And, to her credit, she does these so often with the different markets and Cumulus. that she said, hey, don't worry about it. I'm used to this. This is how it goes. And then we kind of sat there for a few more minutes and nobody, I'm not kidding, minutes. And nobody had anything to say. So,
and that nerve wracks you.
Oh, I did. I don't know why. I'm sure everybody felt the same way.
I don't feel
makes you uncomfortable.
I don't feel a single thing.
And you're just praying one of your coworkers says something, but nobody is. So maybe people could help us out. What do we say? Like I said, we can't just go the minutia. We could use more paper here. Something like that.
She wants a question or a statement, something. So 68683, start your message with, wait a minute, is that still how it works?
Nope, it's different now. 651-989-9393.
I can't believe I just did that, although I've made that mistake many times. We're on a completely different wavelength. Sorry. 651-989-9393. Josh wants some help. What do I ask the boss? What do I say to the boss when she opens up that, general jaw jack session?
This is hilarious. People are remembering. We talked about this the first time she ever came to town. She did the same type of thing, but she was in town. And somebody complained about the tires on the 93X van.
That's right.
And that was so awkward.
Right.
That was great fun.
Here's a lady who's swinging, deals, real intricate, detailed stuff involving all kinds of things that I don't understand. Big business type stuff. And some schmuck bag in the back row at our meeting asked her about the condition of our 93X van.
Angrily, too.
That was so dumb. Oh, yeah, he was upset and wanted something done.
Yeah, she's not really going to be paying attention to the tires on the vehicles.
Yeah. Do you not understand what we're doing here? Yeah, that was wildly embarrassing. Oh, okay, Josh, one question just came to mind in my head that would certainly get a conversation started. So when the big boss today, looking at us through the computer and we're looking back at her, when she says, what is, how does she say it? What's something
I need to know?
Well, then this wouldn't work if that's how she says it. What's something I need to know?
She said, yeah, tell me what's something I need to know and what's something you want me to know.
Josh, here's what I want.
Now, so then I don't have an answer. I had a different idea. Go ahead.
Josh, this is what I want you to do. When she says, what's something I need to know about what's going on? I want you to light up a cigarette, take a drag, and then say, how much time you got?
Well, our boss deals drugs out of the 93X van. Is that something you want to know?
I guess I have a move in mind if she says, do you have any questions? I don't know how to react to what's something I need to know, what's something I should know, or whatever the setup is. But if she says, does anyone have any questions? I think it would be a massive hit if you said, I have a question. Who farted? I think that would be a hit, at least amongst the 5, 6, 10 of us, whoever's involved in this meeting.
And I'd love it if she answered that. Well, we're on a Zoom call. Yeah. You're in a room by yourself. Dumbass Welder Jesus recommends we ask her where she sees herself in 5 years.
A lot of people are texting in and saying the tech issues, but that's almost too... That's not even like in her field.
No.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's a good one.
This is the ultimate top corporate boss. She does not care about microphones and whatever else we work with here. There's sound boards.
Bosses here that'd be more there.
Right. Thank you for your attempt, but that's not for her. It's tough, Josh.
Uncle Bitch Jesus recommends that we tell her she needs to smile more.
No. I'm gonna exit the Zoom meeting if that gets said.
How about who does her hair? Nothing?
It's just so beautiful.
You don't think that's a good one? Who does her hair? It's tough, Josh. See, I'm completely content sitting there and staring into that camera and not making a single sound.
Yeah, you're good at that. That's for sure. You have that in you.
Are we going to keep our cameras off?
I think they want you to have it on. Last time they told people, hey, you got to turn your camera on.
Yeah, they want to make sure you're actually sitting there.
Oh, Lord.
What about cameras?
They want you to turn your computer camera on so they can see that you're there.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you have to be seen. And that's part of the trouble for some people, The idea that she's looking at you or waiting on you for something. Is that part of what tortures you, Josh, a little bit? That she might be singling you out?
Well, so I can't lay down.
And like I said, I realize there's other people on the call, but you see her looking at the screen. So it looks like she's looking right at you.
Just staring into your soul.
Well,
Josh, shoot, I just lost it.
Oh, good one. Ask her if she's aware of Ashley's attendance record.
I should ask her about the maternity leave policy.
Yeah, do that.
Oh, here it is, Josh. Skull Bitches Jesus says you should ask if there's room in the budget for a label maker. It's your new obsession.
Why does everybody else get in the country get 12 weeks now, but we only get 6 weeks?
Yeah, you should bring that up for sure.
Make her uncomfortable.
Another fair
funny
question.
The label maker comes up because yesterday, if you weren't listening early on, I got this label maker I'm borrowing from our engineering department, and we joked about it, and I can't tell you how many texts and emails I got yesterday of people talking about how much they love their label makers.
It's so
we
cute.
opened a can of worms I was not expecting.
I was getting targeted ads last night for label maker.
Oh, were you really?
Yeah.
I should have bought one.
But I looked them up, so.
That's funny.
Another fair question for the big boss could be, when the F did we get ice cream? I believe that's a direct quote from a movie called, what was that movie called?
The Ringer.
The Ringer.
Oh, that was a good movie.
It was.
Who scratched my CD?
Ask her a little bit about her personal life. Are you seeing someone?
I think she's married.
Oh, God.
Someone said that I should ask her out on a date.
Well, it's not easy. I understand your apprehension and your nerves behind such a thing. I do. 651-989-9393 if you have any more suggestions as to what we could bring up to the big boss at our Zoom meeting today.
Yeah, we got to come up with something. Somebody does. Somebody has to bring something up.
It's not going to be me. I again promise you, I will not make a sound.
I'm going to tell her that Ashley got pregnant on purpose just to have 6 weeks off.
Just to miss the state fair.
Oh, ask her what she's name she'd like to go by.
Oh, I wonder if she knows about that bit.
Probably not.
What if she finds out and for some odd reason hates it and makes us stop doing it?
Go Cowboys. That wouldn't be good. Go Cowboys, Jesus. Wants to know, or we should ask her if the Vikings should trade J.J. McCarthy for Myles Garrett.
Well,
just ask her something about your personal life.
Pardon me?
Ask her something about your personal life. Yeah.
About
Hey, I've got this mark on my back. Does this look like anything?
We'll see what happens today.
A lot of people are saying we should ask for a new printer. We got one. I mean, honestly, they've been good to us about the printers. They've had some misfortunes. We got to. Have you even seen this one, Ashley?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, let me take a look at
Let me
this.
see. Ah! Dude.
All right.
Now we're in trouble in the meeting.
Good thing I got this back up.
You're not allowed to handle the printers anymore.
It's usually me that breaks them. You're right.
Can we please get a backup printer? Oh, no.
Not again.
Although I likely won't make a single sound during today's Zoom meeting, I have to say that this gal has been good to us.
She has. That's funny. I was trying to think, there's some good things I'd want to say, but then I'm afraid everyone's going to think I'm a kiss ass, when you're talking to the big boss. So that's
Sure.
That's the trouble.
There's lots to worry about.
There is quite a difference when she took over. From this place was like the gallows. Everyone's got their head hang low and everybody's miserable, and she's definitely changed the culture, that's for sure.
All right, speaking of work, did you guys know these things? Now, I've been lucky. I haven't had, I've never had a job interview in my life.
Oh, really? Never?
No.
Oh, I've had every place I've ever, except for here, strangely enough.
Never had a job interview.
But every, grocery store, movie theater, all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Never had
Yeah.
Escaped.
It was
Same
more.
here, Josh.
I mean, unless you count the boss saying, "Can you start tomorrow? What hours can you work?"
No, that doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Oh, that surprises me.
No, never been involved in such a thing. It was always just. So, I guess I was mostly unaware of the tricks. According to this article, the tricks that interviewers will play on you.
Yeah,
to test you to a certain extent, Josh.
I hope some of this isn't true. It sounds miserable going through something like this.
Reading about, says here, an interview is more about whether you'll click at the company. Your resume shows if you're qualified or not. An interview, people who run the interviews can get tricky In the process, someone asked hiring managers to name any special tests they use to secretly judge people during interviews. And these are apparently 5 different tactics that they mentioned. Something here called the water test. This is apparently very common. You're sitting there for your job interview, and the interviewer will ask you, they'll offer you water.
That guy would say yes.
Now, the interviewer will assume you to be confident if you say yes.
I always say yes.
I would like a water. But if you drink it too fast, you look nervous. So, they say yes to water, but just sip it. I'm going to be judged on something like that?
Doesn't seem like a place I'd want to work in.
Yeah, right. It seems like you get more information about the company than they would out of you. Yeah, I agree with you, Dana.
I mean, that seems so shady and so tricky. Like I said, I was unaware of all of this stuff. I mean, what if I just took a rip off a one-hitter out in my car before the interview? I'm going to be pretty thirsty for water when I get into this.
Maybe you just ask if they have anything stronger.
That's not bad. All right. They'll try to catch you in a lie. Like pretending to know a non-existent person at one of your old jobs. They'll say, oh, you worked for 93X. Do you know Zeke? They'll make up a name, and if you pretend to know this person, they won't consider you for the job. They'll assume you to be a liar, even though all you're trying to do, well, I shouldn't say in every case. Most folks are probably just nervous and are going to agree to damn near anything. Do you know Zeke? Yeah, I know the guy. I mean, just to get it out of the way.
We did used to have a Zeke here.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't recall Zeke.
I worked with the Zeke at my last job.
But okay, they'll try to catch you in a lie. They'll test to see if you're a team player. And here's how. A manager at a restaurant said they liked to leave a broom on the floor to see if the applicant would pick it up when they walk by. If you just step over it, they don't get hired. Well, maybe I would assume that someone's left that broom there to be used for something I'm totally unaware of.
Yeah.
This is nonsense. This seems unfair.
Here you go, slob. This was just laying on the floor.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I did work for a boss once where every little thing was a test, like some type of mind game. And it
for
was just
God's sake.
insufferable. It was like everything. You had to overthink everything. Like, what did he mean by that? You know, because he admitted, he goes, everything I do is a test.
He said that to you?
Mm-hmm.
Who the hell did this guy think he was?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was just awful. Like, he'd be like, hey, what happened during the 7:30 break today? And I'd be like, oh, did you not like it? He goes, I didn't say I didn't like it. I'm just asking what you thought of it.
Oh, yeah, we had a boss kind of like that.
You should have said, how about I test whether or not my boot can fit up your ass? All right, here's one more way, apparently, interviewers will test you when you go there seeking a job. They'll ask questions that don't have a correct answer. Hiring managers, they say here at Google, used to do this a lot. One question they'd ask was, how many golf balls would fit into a school bus? I'm here to get a job. This isn't a game show.
I've been asked weird questions along those lines. I remember one I don't remember exactly what it was, but it involved an elephant.
Was it the, what do you do with an elephant with 3 balls?
No.
You walk him and pitch to the rhino? That's a joke. You don't remember the details of the elephant test?
But I remember thinking that, what? Why are you asking me that?
Do you remember that joke, Josh, about the elephant and the rhino?
I love it.
Okay. Here's what they do. They ask you a question that doesn't have a correct answer. How many golf balls would fit into a school bus? You'd need to know the exact size of the bus and do a lot of arithmetic. So the real reason they asked this question was to see if people would toss out a number or think it through and explain why a right answer wasn't really possible. Oh, I missed one. They say here, several people said they always ask the receptionist. Oh, okay. An interviewer will ask their receptionist, how did the sumbitch coming in here looking for a job, how did he treat you?
I've been told that one before, that they purposely leave you out with the receptionist so they can ask them later, what did you think of them, of the a first impression?
You mean that sexy dame working out front answering the phone? I know, sir.
You look at the picture of the receptionist's husband on her desk and say, who's that punk? So they say be nice to the receptionist because then they might be in cahoots with the boss and all that crap.
Back to the broom on the floor test. Balls like tennis balls, Jesus said, you better not touch that damn broom on the floor. That's a union guy's job to move that broom, you scab. Hey, scab, what are you doing?
I had no idea that they were playing these effing mind games. I thought it was more or less, I see you went to college, I see you're qualified, I see you can work between 7 and 5, I see you don't have a criminal record, and then you get to know the person a little bit, see if they're a nice person. I did not know these things.
Ashley, was the elephant question, someone gives you an elephant that you can't give away or sell. What do you do with it?
Yeah, that sounds like that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
Walk 'em, pitch to the rhino.
It's supposed to test your decision-making and reasoning skills.
Oh, I'd eat it.
One more time, the question is what?
Someone gives you an elephant that you can't give away or sell. What do you do with it?
See, that question, though, so easy for me because I love animals. I'm like, keep it.
I would
keep it forever.
instantly think, are you a moron and are we in kindergarten? What's happening?
I don't get that.
It's like the stupid questions they ask them at the NFL Combine.
Oh, sure.
I like that.
I think that starts today, too.
I love the NFL Combine. You're right. It's underway. I'm watching it on a split screen on my computer right now. The NFL.
Watching college dudes in their undies run 40s.
Yeah, I can't get enough of this kid from Wichita State. He's unbelievable.
We did get that video of the dude running the 40-yard dash and his wiener came out.
Oh, yeah.
His massive penis fell out of his shorts.
That was an elephant trunk right there.
Yeah, it was.
Right now on the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text the keyword MEAN, 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 to 651-989-9393 for a chance to win tickets to 93X Presents Pantera with special guest Amon Amarth. This concert will be taking place Thursday, August 7th at Target Center. Tickets go on sale to the public this Friday at 10 a.m., but you can get them early during the 93X presale today. Hit up 93X.com and enter in presale code 93XRadio. Prize provided by Live Nation. This keyword is good today, February 27th until midnight.
Half-assed morning show.
I'll never forget my old dad. The things he'd say to me.
What did he say?
What the hell are you doing in the bathroom day and night? Why don't you get out of there? Give someone else a chance.
On 93X.
We were talking about job interviews on the program here a few minutes ago. Job interviews. I had no idea they were so shady, tricky. They put you through little tests. A lot of texts have come in on the topic. What do I have here in front of me? Oh, a couple of questions that our listeners have fielded during job interviews. One of them was, if you were an ingredient on a Big Mac, which one would you be and why? Another was asked, if you were a pizza topping, which one would you be and why?
Cheese for both.
Easy answer.
And why? I just like cheese.
Listener says, one job interview, the boss asked if I knew anyone that had ever stolen anything. Well, of course I do. Everyone's stolen something.
Everybody knows someone.
So, what are they doing there? Just an honesty type of a thing?
Yeah,
maybe?
probably seeing if you're lying.
My last job, a listener says, at a warehouse, the boss would walk the applicant through the warehouse. And if the applicant didn't keep up with his pace, they didn't hire him.
What?
Well, shouldn't I be following this man around the warehouse, or woman, whoever it might be? Shouldn't I be trailing them a little bit as they show me around a building for the very first time?
I worked at one of the serving jobs I had. I was there for a while, and me and the manager, the main manager, we were pretty close, pretty good buddies. And whenever he would have an interview, he would always ask me, like, did you like the vibe of that person? And I didn't like having that kind of responsibility because I didn't want to be the reason somebody didn't get a job.
Sure. You didn't want to be the reason why someone had to start all over again.
Yeah.
Now. Cerberus Jesus. had a job interview once, and they mentioned that they'd be doing a drug test, and he said, cool, what drugs are we testing?
That's hilarious.
There is apparently a common test at job interviews where they ask you if you'd like a water. And if you say yes, they think that shows confidence, but then they're going to judge you on how quickly you drink that water. If you drink it too fast, it shows that you're nervous. So they recommend you sip the water. Here's a listener that says he would slam the water and then say, where can a guy take a piss around here?
Or take a drink of it and do the Triple H where he spray it out and up in the air.
Oh, yeah. It's time to play the game.
I got my job at Blockbuster Video when I was in high school because I made a well-timed He Got Game reference, the basketball movie from Spike Lee.
You made a well-timed quote from a movie?
Yeah, He Got Game, the movie with Ray Allen.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
So he was asking me, what do you like to do outside of, besides movies, obviously, if you're playing here, you like movies. What else do you like? I said, I like sports, I'm big into the local scene here. He goes, I'm a huge Timberwolves fan. I'm going to the game tonight. And I go, they got the Bucks, right? You get to see Jesus Shuttlesworth. That's awesome. And he was so taken by that quote, he told me later on, he goes, you had no sales experience, no customer service experience, but you made that Jesus Shuttlesworth reference. I'm like, that's a guy I want to work with.
You want to try that today at our Zoom meeting, Josh? Do you want to make a reference to a Denzel Washington film?
Sure. I'm going to have to say King Kong ain't got nothing on me, which is going to sound braggadocious, but that's such a good quote.
That's how this conversation started. Later on this morning, we have a Zoom meeting with the big boss, none bigger. One of those Zoom meetings where everyone has to look at each other's face through the computer, and Josh is a little nervous because the lady always wants to know, hey, what is going on? Tell me something that I don't know. And we usually say nothing, and it nerve-wracks my bro Cubby. He's trying to come up with something to say. Did you get any decent further answers from our listening audience on what you might be able to say?
Oh, it's a lot of stuff we shouldn't say to anybody, much less the biggest boss in the building.
Of course.
A lot of F, Marry, Kill questions. That might be kind of fun. Oprah, Martha Stewart, and I forgot the third person they mentioned, but bring those
Betty
up.
White.
Was it Betty White?
I don't
Oh, you're throwing that out there?
Yeah.
Well, now, what do you think about this? Because this struck me funny. When the gal, our boss, says, who has any comments? Josh, make a motion as if you're beginning to speak, and then act like your computer froze and stay perfectly still. I would laugh my balls off.
Yeah. But kind of funny.
Well, I have a
But then you hear my dogs barking in the background. Roastmaster Jesus back to the water test in an interview where they ask you if you'd like some water and they pay attention to how quick you drink it to decide how nervous you are. He suggests you just slam the water, then you pee in the bottle. You don't even have to leave the interview. That's what they're looking for.
Well, I hope that all goes well during our big meeting and everyone can keep it together.
Yeah, thank you for the suggestions. I'm going to keep going through some of these. Maybe we'll have something that'll be just right. Just right, and we'll report back. Have a great Thursday.
93X.
Hey, podcast listeners. Dana here. Can I let you guys in on a little secret? Just between us? We like all of you much, much more than the folks that listen live. But no matter how, when, or where you check out the Hams podcast, we got to give thanks to our friends at Standard Heating for making it all possible. It's been a pretty tame winter so far, but we know well enough that we're not out of the woods yet. So hit up standardheating.com to get them out to your house to make sure your furnace is tuned up to do all of the furnace-y types of things it's supposed to do. I'm still learning the lingo. Make that appointment today. Become a Smart Club member like me. That's standardheating.com.